Chapter 368. Yan Lang's birthday ceremony had taken a huge turn for the worse. Yan Lang had been captured by Xiaofan, who had been summoned to the demon god altar by the 10 great demon emperors. A long time later, what's going on? What's going on? Many ultimate variant demon emperors had come to their senses and voiced their doubts in fear. And the demon god altar floating in the void made all the ultimate mutant demon emperors anxious and uneasy. Grandmaster, where is Grandmaster? Grandmaster, the dozens of ultimate variant demon emperors under Yan Lang cried out in fear. Shut up. One of the demon emperors snorted in displeasure. Forget it. All of you can leave. There's nothing for you to do here anymore. He waved his hand and a surge of demonic energy swept out. In the blink of an eye, all the demon emperors in the 3rd level of the demon metropolis were teleported away. Only the 10 great demon emperors were left in the 3rd level of the demon metropolis. Emperor Woodfern, what should we do now? One of the great demon emperors asked in a low voice. The situation is under control, Emperor Woodfern said confidently. The Silver Mask Demon Emperor can't play any tricks now. Let's wait quietly for the demon gods will to judge the Silver Mask Demon Emperor. If nothing goes wrong and Lord Demon God has mercy on us, we might be able to get some benefits from the Silver Mask Demon Emperor. TSK, even we don't dare to touch the origin energy of the demon race in his body. If this energy can be separated and refined by us, it will bring indescribable benefits to our demon bodies. That's right. Perhaps this opportunity might allow us to ascend to the upper world. We can ascend to the higher realms. Another demon emperor said. Another demon emperor agreed. Suddenly, another martial monarch beast hesitated for a moment before speaking. Emperor Woodfern, great demon emperors, I've only been a demon emperor for a short period of time, so I don't know much about the upper world. I wonder if Emperor Woodfern and great demon emperors can tell me more about it. Hearing that, Emperor Woodfern and the other great emperors burst into laughter. The demon emperor smiled awkwardly. I only know that the so-called upper realm is divided into the demon realm and the immortal realm. The diabolic demonic emperor. You haven't been an emperor for long, so you don't know much about the upper realm. Compared to us, you're still a stranger. I'm in a good mood today, so I'll tell you a bit about it. Emperor Woodfern smiled. That's right, diabolic demon emperor. Just as you said, the upper world is further divided into the demon world and the immortal world. Great Emperor Woodfern began to explain. The so-called realm of demons is the high-level demon clan that is led by the great Lord Demon God. High-level demon race? That's right, high-level demons. The bloodline of the high-ranking demon clans born in the supreme demon realm is not something that we demon emperors can compare to. In the demon world, the demon god subordinates are known as demon emperors. However, they cannot be compared to the demon emperors of ordinary planes like us, the Woodfern demon emperor said seriously. We're simply trash compared to the demon emperors of the demon realm. They were both demon emperors, but the demon emperors in the demon realm were many times stronger than the demon emperors in the ordinary realms. The other 9 demon emperors held their breaths as they listened attentively to the Woodfern demon emperor. In the demon world, the demon emperors under Lord Demon God's command have extremely noble bloodlines and genes, and their true forms are extremely terrifying. For example, some of the demon emperors in the demon world are 30,000 meters tall, and their awakened demon meridians can form a dimension of their own that can encompass the 4 seas and the heavens. Tell me, do you think they can compare to us? Grand Emperor Woodfern said solemnly. Let me tell you. Don't doubt me. Some of the demon emperors of the demon world have bodies that are planets. Ah. Bodies that are planets? What, are you scared? Frogs at the bottom of a well. Emperor Woodfern sneered. This emperor's demonic body and demonic power are slightly superior to all of you. That's why I know a bit more than you do. There's one thing I've never mentioned to you before, but there's no harm in telling you now. Once, I released my demonic sense and tried to probe the demon world. I actually managed to make contact with some scattered will. These scattered wills were left behind by a demon emperor of the demon world. The will left behind by a demon emperor of the demon world? That's right. Do you know how terrifying the demon emperor's true form is? Humph. There are a total of 81 planets in its body. In other words, its demon body is made up of 81 planets. They were scared stiff. The rest of the 9 demon thearchs were completely frightened. Gurgling sounds came from their throats, as if an invisible hand was squeezing their throats. How big was a planet? If the plane the demon emperors resided in was a planet, then the body of the demon emperor Woodfern demon world's demon emperor was equivalent to 81 such planes. How much demonic chi could such a huge demon body contain? They didn't even dare to imagine it. In short, every demon emperor's true form stretches for thousands of miles, tens of thousands of meters above sea level, forming a world of its own. There's no need for you to be afraid. After all, life forms are on a different level. It's enough for us to understand a little. Emperor Woodfern's tone suddenly grew tense. As for the demon realm's demon emperor that I spoke of, the demon realm's demon emperor that was formed from 81 planets, it was killed and perished. Only the remnant of its will was accidentally encountered by my demon awareness. What? How could such a powerful demon race creature, a leviathan-like existence, be killed so easily? How could he have died? The 9-headed demonic emperor screamed in disbelief. Shut up. Emperor Woodfern snorted. It was killed by an immortal. An immortal of the human race. Do you think that the immortal world of the higher worlds doesn't give birth to experts? The human race. Experts born from them are immortals. The demon emperor of the demon world is indeed a giant. But immortals. They aren't weak. Every immortal can roam the universe with their fleshly body. They can roam outer space. They can destroy planets with a wave of their hand, devour the stars, and live for eternity. It was too terrifying. The demon emperor was strong, but the immortals of the human race were just as freakish. Emperor Woodfern, your words are making me dizzy. It's making me dizzy. The dark demon emperor, who asked the question just now, was extremely terrified. Forget it. These existences aren't existences we can touch. Now, I'll continue with the higher worlds. The higher worlds include the demon world and the immortal world, but don't think that the demon world and the immortal world are two different places. There is only one demon realm and immortal realm. They're on the same plane. In this plane, the human immortals are the eternal enemies of the demon world. They're also the eternal enemies of the demon world. Seriously. In the upper realm, the human clans are more powerful than the demon clans. The human clans have more celestials than the emperors of the demon realm. If it weren't for Lord Demon God, the demon realm would have been destroyed by the celestial realm a long time ago. Thus, the human immortals could unify the higher worlds. So the demon world and the immortal world are on the same plane, the demon emperor said, understanding dawning on them. There's only one higher world. But there are many ordinary planes like the one we're in right now. These ordinary planes were almost the same, with humans and demons living in them. However, in some dimensions, the human clan has already completely exterminated the demon clan, while in other dimensions, the demon clan has exterminated the human clan. However, we're natural enemies, and we're always at war with each other, the Woodfern Emperor explained. However, in the upper realm, be it human immortals or monster emperors, it's very, very difficult for them to descend to an ordinary plane like ours. The beings of the higher worlds are too terrifying. If they descend, their auras alone are enough to crush ordinary planes like ours. For the same reason, it's almost impossible for the beings of ordinary planes like us to ascend to the higher worlds. However, the world is unpredictable. There are a few ways for the beings of the higher worlds to descend. Generally speaking, there are two ways for high-level beings from the higher worlds to descend. The first is to create a spatial passageway and break through the spatial barrier between ordinary planes and the higher worlds. However, this requires an enormous amount of energy. Furthermore, only the weakest immortals and demon emperors of the higher worlds can descend cautiously. Only existences whose bodies aren't able to crush ordinary planes can break through the spatial barrier and descend. The second is to descend with their souls. This soul descending to the mortal world involved the problem of possession. The immortals of the higher worlds or the powerhouses of the Yao world can possess the bodies of beings from ordinary planes and descend with their souls. However, the bodies of ordinary planes are too weak, so it's very dangerous for the beings of the higher worlds to descend with their souls. Without a sufficiently strong physical body, the beings of the higher worlds can't risk sending their souls down. If they fail, their souls will be destroyed. On the other hand, the beings of ordinary planes can ascend to the higher worlds. However, there are two ways. First, if a human cultivator with true energy can become an immortal and cultivate an immortal body, they can be received by the immortals of the higher worlds and ascend. Demon emperors like us can also ascend to the Yao world when our bodies reach a certain level of strength. Second, our souls can ascend to the higher worlds. Our souls can ascend to the higher worlds and possess a body. But unless the higher-up specially prepared a body to guide your soul to possess, how could a weak creature from the lower realm complete the possession of a creature from the upper realm? Emperor Woodfern, we understand now. Then, are there any immortals among the humans in the Wuxia Tower in our plane? Probably not. It's almost impossible for immortals to exist in ordinary planes. The spatial barriers of ordinary planes can't withstand the aura of human immortals. It'll cause space to collapse and time to become chaotic. The immortals of the higher worlds aren't foolish enough to descend with their souls. After all, even if the possession succeeds, the immortal's strength will be limited. In our plane, there are only a few false immortals among the humans of our plane, Emperor Woodfern said confidently. False immortals? Emperor Woodfern smiled disdainfully. Yes. They've absorbed a small amount of immortal energy and used it to cleanse their bodies. We can still deal with false immortals. At the very least, we won't lose to them. All of a sudden, the Woodfern Demon Emperor's voice grew hoarse. I'm almost certain that the essence energy in the silver-masked monster emperor's body doesn't come from an ordinary plane. It's likely that it was left behind by one of the monster emperors of the higher worlds. Now, we can use the monster god sacrificial altar to dispel that energy. If we benefit from it, our bodies will definitely advance by leaps and bounds. In fact, there's even a possibility that we'll ascend. Once our bodies reach a certain level of strength, we'll be able to break through the spatial barriers between ordinary planes and the Yao world. Ascend. Once we ascend to the Yao world, we'll be on a completely different level. Furthermore, we'll be able to obtain more perfect cultivation opportunities and more precious resources. We'll also have treasures we can't even begin to imagine. Even if we can't ascend, as long as our bodies grow stronger, we'll be able to sweep through the humans of this plane. Those false immortals will also be killed and devoured by us. Grand Emperor Woodfern's eyes twitched as he stared at the floating demon god sacrificial altar in the sky. Let's see how the will of the Yao god judges the silver-masked monster emperor. Meanwhile, the monster god sacrificial altar hovering above the five-colored monstrous palace was completely enveloped by demonic consciousness and demonic light. The will of the Yao god had descended upon the altar, taking control of everything. Chapter 369. At this moment, Xiaofan was completely trapped in the demon god altar. After Xiaofan entered the demon god altar, the layers of pavilions, the bronze hall, the 9,999 white jade steps, the massive sculptures on both sides of the steps, and the countless weapons of the demon race all turned into formations, suppressing Xiaofan completely. The formations were set up with the demonic consciousness of the 10 great monarchs as the foundation. They were filled with demonic aura and were capable of sealing space and freezing time. It was like catching a turtle in a jar. With the will of the beast god as the core, the formations unleashed a monstrous demonic aura that could overturn seas and rivers. Shit, Xiaofan stood on the spot and looked around. I'm trapped here. No, I have to kill my way out. I can't die here. Xiaofan sat down cross-legged and took out a large number of heavenly desolation demonic fruits from his storage ring. One by one, the heavenly desolation demonic fruits entered the palm of his left monarch beast left arm to replenish the depleted demonic energy of his 599,999 demonic meridians. A long time later, Xiaofan let out a breath of turbid air and rose to his feet. His left arm was brimming with demonic energy. The 599,999 demonic meridians were filled with pure demonic aura. The slightest movement was enough to cause a landslide or tsunami. Charge out. Boom! He poured all his demonic energy into the North Mystic Beast King crystal. The escaping demonic art, illusory movement, was executed once again. Now, when Xiaofan used this move, illusory movement, it was as if he was teleporting. In an instant, he could leap over 1,000,000 kilometers. It was enough for him to teleport back to the human world from the demon capital. The move he had executed just now. It had been forcefully stopped by Emperor Woodfern's laws of time. Now that Emperor Woodfern wasn't watching from the side, Xiaofan could try illusory movement again. It was better than waiting for death. Whoosh! In the blink of an eye, Xiaofan's figure turned into a ray of light, with countless afterimages and mirror images rising into the air. There was even a spatial storm. In just 1/100th of a second, I've successfully teleported 1,000,000 kilometers. Xiaofan was overjoyed. This time, his movements were illusory, and he wasn't disturbed at all. This allowed Xiaofan to teleport 1,000,000 miles to his heart's content as he pleased. However, when Xiaofan's body froze again, he looked around and was completely dumbfounded. Demonic chi rumbled from all directions in a chaotic mess. He was actually unable to jump out of the Fey God altar. I clearly teleported 1,000,000 miles away, but I'm still trapped in the demon god sacrificial altar. Xiaofan was shocked. Boom! 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 Suddenly, the demonic aura in all directions was like mercury. It pressed down on Xiaofan. Demonic chi was thick and fiendish shadows were everywhere. The space around Xiaofan seemed to have frozen. There was a sense of difficulty in moving forward. What should we do? I can't fly out even if I use illusory movement. Xiaofan grew anxious. In the next moment, demonic aura surged towards him. Xiaofan subconsciously raised his left arm and gritted his teeth. Demonic the arch palm, suck the demonic aura dry. Whatever demonic aura, demonic consciousness, or demonic formation, suck them all for me. Under the control of Xiaofan's mind, the demonic the arch palm on his left arm burst out a horrifying suction force like a black hole and a sound of surging tides. It was like a furnace that swallowed all demonic aura. Boom! Refine. Nothing was forbidden. Goo goo goo! Around Xiaofan's body, wisps of demonic aura broke down into rays of dazzling and demonic flowing light and fused into Xiaofan's demonic the arch palm on his left arm. Buzz buzz buzz, the 600,000th demon vein actually transmitted a throbbing sound. It gave Xiaofan a subtle sign that he was about to awaken. Oh! Xiaofan was startled. The demonic aura in the demon god sacrificial altar can indeed be absorbed by my demonic the arch palm. Tisk tisk. Moreover, the quality of the demonic aura in this sacrificial altar is surprisingly high. The quality of the demonic aura is countless times higher than the energy from the ultimate mutation demon emperor's corpse. It's actually very helpful for the awakening of the 600,000th demon vein. It's a great supplement, a great supplement. I don't care about that for now. Absorb it for me. Absorb it. Xiaofan's left arm moved, and demonic light filled the sky. Boom. 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 More and more demonic aura was being absorbed into the demonic the arch palm tattoo on Xiaofan's left arm. What? Emperor Woodfern roared in shock and anger from within the five-colored demonic palace. What's going on? The demonic sense and demonic aura I used to construct the demon god sacrificial altar are flowing away. Damn it. That silver-masked demon emperor is refining my demonic sense and demonic aura. The silver-masked demon emperor can even refine your demonic sense and demonic aura? That's unbelievable. A mere demon emperor can refine a demonic emperor's demonic sense and demonic aura. That's a rare thing. Several demonic thearchs exclaimed in shock. I understand now. It must be because of that artifact. It must be the silver-masked demon emperor's secret treasure. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to absorb my demonic aura and demonic sense. Damn it. Damn it. The Woodfern demon emperor howled. However, one of the demonic thearchs sneered. Don't be surprised, Emperor Woodfern. That bastard is courting death by refining demonic aura that doesn't belong to him. Demonic aura of different attributes will clash within his demonic veins. It's just like how a true Qi realm cultivator can't cultivate more than one type of true Qi at the same time. The clash of different types of true Qi could lead to cultivation deviation. Not long after, the silver-masked demon emperor is refining my demonic aura and demonic sense as well. He's refining my demonic aura and demonic sense as well. He's refining them at random. Soon, Emperor Woodfern wasn't the only one who found his demonic aura and demonic sense being refined by Xiaofan. The other 9 demonic thearchs weren't spared either. One had to know that the demon god sacrificial altar was created by the combined efforts of the 10 demonic thearchs. They had to use their demonic sense and demonic aura. Only then did they succeed. Xiaofan didn't care about the demonic aura at all. As long as it was demonic aura, he would refine it. You're courting death. One of the demonic thearchs had a cold gaze and his tone was filled with mockery. The 10 of us demonic thearchs cultivate different demonic arts. Because of our bloodlines, our demonic auras are different. Some of our demonic auras even clash with each other. The silver-masked demon emperor is refining our demonic aura into his demonic body. He must be tired of living. I'd like to see how he's going to end up. I'm afraid the demonic god won't even need to judge him. His body will explode and he'll die. But right at that moment. Boom! Above the demonic god altar. A mushroom cloud of demonic aura exploded into the surroundings. The tempest of demonic aura wriggled madly, forming an enormous palace above the demonic god altar. It was translucent and sparkling, as if it were made of crystal. Soon, crystal demonic tigers, demonic elephants, and demonic rocks appeared within the palace, as if they were imbued with life. Soon, a demonic wind began to howl from the crystal palace, sweeping through everything in its path. Within the demonic wind, all sorts of demonic beasts appeared, like flowers falling from the sky. The distracting thoughts of the mortal world and all sorts of phenomenon surged over one after another. What's going on? Why is there such strong demonic aura? The 10 demonic thearchs were stunned by what they were seeing. They had no idea what was going on. A few breaths later. That bastard broke through. He actually broke through in the demonic god altar. Emperor Woodfern let out a cry of disbelief. He absorbed the demonic aura and demonic sense of the 10 demonic thearchs, and not only did he not explode, he actually broke through. He's become a mutated demonic emperor. Damn it! This is preposterous. This is preposterous. What kind of freak is he to break through like that? Meanwhile, Xiaofan. Boom! In the midst of all sorts of strange phenomena, the 600,000th demonic vein finally exploded. Wonderful! After absorbing the demonic chi from the altar, the tattoo on my left arm finally broke through its shackles and took the final step to mutate. Xiaofan's eyes shone with a brilliant light. His entire left arm was filled with a demonic wind, piercing through the void. Then, something even more shocking happened. The 600,000th demonic vein on the left arm exploded at the same time. Streams of light danced on the Demon Emperor's palm. The demon meridians were being reconstructed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Each demon meridian was translucent, flawless, and absolutely perfect. They glowed with resplendent light and vitality. The reconstructed demon meridians were inscribed with runes praising the demon god. Those runes seemed to be able to pierce through space and devour the energy of the demon world. Each demonic vein on the left arm glowed with the luster of the demonic world, as if each demonic vein had its own dimension. A world of its own. 150 times. Xiaofan immediately understood. Now that the demonic emperor left arm's palm has mutated, the capacity of each demonic vein is 150 times that of an ordinary demonic emperor. Lord Demonic God. The demonic chi of the silver-masked demonic emperor has become so domineering after mutating. What do we do now, Monarch Woodfern? Let's work together to suppress it. A demonic emperor shrieked. Monarch Woodfern pondered for a moment before saying sternly. Wait. The will of the demonic god is still here. I refuse to believe that the silver-masked demonic emperor can refine the will of the demonic god. Inside the demonic god altar. This is great. My demonic chi has increased by several times. Let's see if I can teleport out of the demonic capital. With a thought, the demonic chi from the 600,000 demonic veins surged towards the Beixian demonic emperor crystal. However, right at that moment, whoosh, that wisp of the demon god's will was like a flood dragon, directly shooting towards Xiaofan. At the same time, the demonic egg in Xiaofan's heart emitted an unprecedented joy. Pfft! A huge lump protruded from Xiaofan's heart. The seals on the surface of the demonic egg also emitted a shocking will, but it seemed like they could no longer stop the rhythm of the demonic egg. Xiaofan instinctively felt that the demonic egg was welcoming the will of the demonic god. It was as if the sixth seal was reacting to the treasure in Yen Lang's dantian. Don't come over. Xiaofan's heart shuddered. He was about to teleport away with his demonic god. However, whoosh, that wisp of the demon god's will shot into Xiaofan's body at lightning speed. To be continued. Chapter 370. No one would have thought that the demon god altar that the 10 great demon emperors had spent so much demonic chi and demonic awareness to build would become the nourishment of Xiaofan's left arm. As the left arm devoured the demonic chi like a whale, the 600,000th demonic vein was finally awakened. It had officially entered the ranks of the ultimate mutation. Moreover, each demonic vein had been remolded and shone brightly. Its capacity had increased to 150 times that of a normal demon emperor's demonic vein. It shook the world. Bang! 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 The demon god altar collapsed. Illusory movement, jump out of the demon metropolis. Xiaofan's mind was tense. He wanted to pour out all his demonic chi and flee for his life. Moreover, after the ultimate mutation of the left arm's demon god palm, his demonic chi had increased by leaps and bounds. However, at this moment, Xiao, that strand of demonic god's will slithered into Xiaofan's body like a fish. Wu, suddenly, a very strange feeling gripped Xiaofan, causing his body to freeze in the air. The move that he had already prepared, illusory movement, could not be released at this moment. What's going on? It seems that even moving, it seems like, it's not enough. Xiaofan was terrified. Xiaofan also felt that the strand of demonic god's will had started to wander around his limbs and even his meridians and blood vessels after entering his body. His pores. It was wandering around his internal organs. It was reluctant to go. It was as if the strand of demonic god's will was extremely interested in every organ and every detail of Xiaofan's body. It's not? Xiaofan was shocked and scared. He quickly looked inside his body and saw that the strand of demonic god's will was lingering around his liver. It was intertwined with each other and glittered like the stars in the sky. It was as if an antique fanatic was appreciating a perfect jade artifact. The demonic god's will wandered around Xiaofan's liver for a few times and then moved to Xiaofan's spleen and kidneys. An obscure joyful fluctuation was transmitted from the strand of demonic god's will. Xiaofan could faintly feel it. This will of a Yao god. It's actually treating my body as its body, and it seems to be. I'm very, very satisfied with my body. Xiaofan's whole body turned cold. A coldness that he had never felt before occupied his heart, causing his entire body to shiver. That wisp of demon god's willpower seemed to have a life of its own. It wantonly entered Xiaofan's body, tasting and appreciating the state of Xiaofan's vitality. Moreover, it gave off a very subtle feeling. It seemed that it was quite appreciative of Xiaofan's body. Terrifying. It was too terrifying. Possession. A horrifying word flashed into Xiaofan's mind without him noticing. You don't know how to. How could a mere wisp of the demon god's will be able to possess me? Impossible. All of a sudden, Xiaofan's heart was filled with killing intent. He couldn't restrain himself and wanted to kill that wisp of demon god's will. However, as soon as the thought appeared in his mind, a sharp demonic chi shot out from the palm of the demon god's left arm towards the wisp of demon god's will. However, before the sharp demonic chi could get close to the demon god's will, it was turned into ashes. Xiaofan felt as if he had blasphemed against a god and deserved to die 1,000 times over. Xiaofan's legs became weak and he felt remorse in the depths of his heart. What's going on? I have no way of killing that wisp of demon god's will. Furthermore, if I have the slightest thought of killing that wisp of demon god's will, I'll be condemned in the depths of my heart. Xiaofan was truly shocked to the extreme. Just like that, Xiaofan was strangely frozen in midair. He did not move an inch, just like an ancient statue. The demon god's sacrificial altar has collapsed. Damn it! The silver-masked demon emperor has destroyed the demon god's sacrificial altar. This is disrespect to the demon god. This is blasphemy. A demon emperor bared his teeth and howled. His demonic eyes looked as if they were about to spit fire and devour someone. Great Emperor Woodfern. Kill. Kill the silver-masked demon emperor. He deserves to die 1,000 times over. Do it. Great Emperor Woodfern, although this fellow has reached the ultimate variant demon emperor realm, his demonic energy is still far inferior to ours. We can easily turn him into dust with a wave of our hands. Let's do it now to prevent him from doing anything strange again, another demon emperor said. Great Emperor Woodfern shook his head slightly. Let's wait a little longer. The demon god's will seems to have entered the silver-masked demon emperor's body. Look, the silver-masked demon emperor is acting very strangely now. It seems like he can't exert even the slightest bit of his demonic energy. He wants to escape, but he doesn't seem to have the strength to do so. Yes, I understand now. The demon god's will is judging him. Ahahaha. Look. His eyes are filled with despair and helplessness. They are filled with fear. That's right, something must have happened in his body that can completely intimidate him. Ha ha ha. The demon god's will is starting to judge him. We'll wait patiently at the side. If we act rashly now, it will be disrespectful to the demon god. That seems to be the case. The other demon emperors carefully observed Xiaofan's current situation and nodded their heads. Just a strand of his will is enough to completely suppress me and immobilize me. Furthermore, this strand of the demon god's will is giving me the feeling of a terrifying ancient being. This will also seems to contain a feeling of being unrestrained, lawless, indifferent to the world, and supremacy of the world. Xiaofan had completely shrunk back. His entire body was almost curled up. Right at this moment, gurgle gurgle gurgle, the demon egg in his heart began to wriggle, bursting with an overjoyed will as it began to receive the strand of the demon god's will. Rustle rustle rustle, all the seals on the demon egg began to tremble, unleashing their strongest sealing power in an attempt to stop the demon egg from receiving the strand of the demon god's will. Thus, the demon egg and the countless seals began to fight fiercely. Killing intent continued to spread. Mountains of corpses and seas of bones. Corpses and bones filled the land, blood filled the 9 provinces, the 8 wastelands were destroyed, and the mountains and rivers were turned to ashes. Ah! Xiaofan's heart twisted. Intense pain. It was as if he was being bitten by thousands of ants, sliced by thousands of blades, and about to be torn apart. Ah! Damn it! The demon egg and the seal will be my heart. As a battlefield for a decisive battle. Pain. It hurts. Xiaofan's body started to tremble as he screamed in pain. Pft! Puff! Puff! Clouds of bloody mist burst out of Xiaofan's pores. Oh! The silver masked demon emperor seemed to be being tortured. Ha ha ha! This must be the demon god's judgment. Ha ha ha! It was doomed. It won't be long before I'm reduced to ashes. Emperor Woodfern smiled in relief. This strange fellow had a fortuitous encounter, but in the face of Lord Demon God's will, he is insignificant. It was simply insignificant. He hoped that its secrets would be revealed. We'll get a share of it. The rest of the 9-headed demon emperors nodded in satisfaction. A puny demon emperor. How can he defy the heavens? How can he not be restrained? Pain. This is the kind of pain I can't bear. Xiaofan grimaced in pain. He was in so much pain that he felt like his liver was being torn apart. Although Xiaofan's body was strong, and his organs, meridians, and bones were impenetrable, he still couldn't endure the pain coming from his heart. It was to the extent that even the heat of the indestructible golden body was unable to alleviate this explosive pain. This kind of pain made Xiaofan want to die immediately. But right at that moment, boom! The will of the demon god seemed to have studied enough of Xiaofan's life force. Like an evil dragon, it rushed into Xiaofan's heart. It was unstoppable. Pooh! The will of the demon god forcefully broke through the layers of seals. Like quicksilver spilling onto the ground, it permeated every nook and cranny and finally fused into the demon egg. Time seemed to freeze in that instant. The next moment, boom! It was as if a barrel of gunpowder had been ignited. In the blink of an eye, the countless seals that wrapped around the demon egg violently trembled and immediately shattered into pieces, all of them collapsing. One after another, the seals were almost broken. Ka 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 ka. The surface of the eggshell was like a broken piece of jade. Hundreds and thousands of cracks appeared. The pain in Xiaofan's heart instantly disappeared. He was no longer in pain. But his brain was numb. Oh no! It was as if the densely packed seals had been defeated. The demon egg has defeated it. There are countless cracks on the surface of the eggshell. Just as Xiaofan was thinking about this. Pu from the cracks on the surface of the eggshell, waves of demonic aura burst out. The demonic chi was accompanied by the resplendent starlight that sprayed out continuously. Every time it sprayed out, the Milky Way would shatter, and the stars would fall. Strange phenomena appeared, and there was a kind of poetic conception of falling sounds. Moreover, the demonic aura and starlight were constantly pouring into Xiaohan's blood vessels, organs, bones, cells, and even the left arm of the demon god. Waves of lawless energy were crazily injected into Xiaohan's body. There were even waves of demonic aura that rushed into Xiaohan's sea of consciousness. A memory fragment that did not belong to Xiaohan rushed into Xiaohan's soul. It was the shadow of a deity with its hands behind its back. Its face could not be seen clearly, but its aura was unparalleled. It had a domineering aura that could swallow the mountains and rivers, control the universe, and rule over the heavens and earth. It was as if it could crush the sun and the moon with a casual move. Thunder rumbled in the void. Countless laws were brewing, capable of destroying the heavens and earth with a single thought. However, this memory fragment was quickly occupied by another completely different memory fragment. This memory fragment was a graveyard. It was filled with a deathly aura. There were countless creatures tens of thousands of feet long, densely packed, slaughtered, and fallen. There were also some corpses of immortals, scattered all over the graveyard. Before Xiaohan's thoughts could react, before he could completely integrate these two memory fragments, more and more memory fragments suddenly rushed into Xiaohan's brain. Countless ancient, mysterious, unknown, and terrifying memories that did not belong to Xiaohan appeared one after another. Ah! Xiaohan's brain felt like it was about to explode. He had a splitting headache. He held his head with both hands and let out a howl. At the same time, the demonic aura in Xiaohan's body rose rapidly, as if it would never stop. 100 times. 1,000 times. 10,000 times. 1,000,000 times. Xiaohan's demonic aura rose sharply. The rules and order of this space began to become chaotic. Ah! Xiaohan let out a beast-like howl. His eyes turned red. A deep red color. Killing, evil, terror, extermination, domination, dominance, invincibility, and dominator were brewing in his eyes, streams of almost invincible demonic aura, which even surpassed the 10 great demon emperors by countless times, rushed out of Xiaohan's body. Like thousands of demonic dragons, they swept everywhere, and the void within a radius of tens of thousands of miles began to explode. Each explosion seemed to be able to destroy a small world. Every explosion seemed like it was going to blast the demon into pieces. The aftermath of the explosion spread far and wide, causing countless demon emperor-level creatures in the demon metropolis, including mutated demon emperors, to be blasted into pieces by the aftermath of the explosions. In the continuous explosions, the quality of the demonic aura that spread out from Xiaohan's body snowballed, becoming stronger and stronger, and more intense. Xiaohan's flesh, bones, and even his soul and temperament were changing. The stars moved, and he kept transforming, turning the world upside down. Furthermore, Xiaohan's aura seemed to have formed some kind of connection with a certain supreme realm in the unseen world. Puff! The silver mask on Xiaohan's face shattered. It revealed a pale, handsome, and young face. Xiaohan's hair grew rapidly, turning blood red, and he looked like a demon god. Dancing in the wind. At this moment, Xiaohan's eyes were blood red, and his whole face showed an indescribable demonic aura. Then, he let out a bone-chilling scream. Ha 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 ha. Ah ha ha ha. This plane. I didn't expect it to be such a small plane. Ha 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 ha. The body of this human young man has a bit of potential, but it is still too weak. It can't bear 100,000th of the true body's energy. This voice definitely did not belong to Xiaohan. This voice contained a monstrous majesty. Like a god. An absolutely invincible figure. At this moment, the 10 great demon emperors were all like quails, curling up, trying their best to activate their natal demonic aura, struggling to hold on, for fear that they would be destroyed by the invincible demonic aura emitted by Xiaohan if they were not careful. They were completely terrified. They had no idea what was going on. Moreover, under the influence of the aura, they were likely to be killed if they moved slightly. There was no chance for them to resist. The atmosphere was extremely oppressive. No. I can't take it anymore. Suddenly, a great emperor finally could not bear the suffocation and fear anymore. He let out a scream, gathering all the demonic aura in his body, and turned into a ray of light, flashing out of the demon metropolis. Oh! Such a weak ant. Xiaofan smiled indifferently and grabbed with his left hand. This grab directly destroyed a piece of space. The rules and order of this space were completely shattered. At the place where the space was shattered, a terrifying black hole appeared. It was deep, vast, and contained an endless starry sky. Countless planes were born and destroyed in it. This grab was everlasting, everlasting, the fall of the common people, the creation of a plane, and all the phenomena of heaven and earth were within it. The starry sky of the universe was born and destroyed, and the heavenly Tao collapsed. Pfft! The great emperor who was trying to escape was crushed into dust by the claw. Not even a speck of dust was left. Ha 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 ha! The remaining 9 great emperors let out strange sounds from their throats. Their bodies trembled violently, and all of them prostrated themselves. All of them were so scared that they peed their pants. Humph! The heavens and earth are vast, the universe is vast, the true body is unrivaled in the myriad of worlds. Be it the past or the future, no living being can defeat the true body. The true body is an invincible existence. In this myriad of worlds, I am the only one. Ahahaha! Xiaofan let out an evil and crazy laughter. Chapter 371. The strongest demon on this plane, one of the 10 great demon emperors, had been reduced to dust by a single slap from Xiaofan. Xiaofan's attack had destroyed the void and destroyed the plane. It was practically invincible and unstoppable. The body of the demon emperor was instantly vaporized. Not even a speck of it remained. It was even weaker than a clay figurine. Cough! The wood-fern emperor, who had been insufferably arrogant a moment ago, suddenly fainted. The other 8 great demon emperors also fainted, foaming at the mouth. As for Xiaofan, he stood tall in the sky with a grin on his face. His bloodshot eyes were filled with demonic energy and evil intent. What's going on? This isn't me. It's impossible for me to be this powerful. I killed the demon emperors in the blink of an eye. No, this isn't a power that belongs to the human world. This is almost the power of a god. With this kind of power, it's very easy to shatter this plane. Strangely, there was a ball of psychic energy near Xiaofan's body. This psychic energy had been forcefully squeezed out from Xiaofan's brain. To be more precise, this ball of psychic energy belonged to Xiaofan. The Xiaofan that had killed the demon emperor just now wasn't the real Xiaofan. To put it simply, Xiaofan's soul had been squeezed out of his brain by a powerful divine will, causing his body to fall under the control of that divine will. Xiaofan's strength had also increased by countless times. Possession? Is this what possession means? Xiaofan's psychic energy looked at his body in a daze. The me I see isn't the real me. My body. Has it been seized? Xiaofan's real psychic energy. He looked at his own body in a daze. He had seen through his own body was no longer the same as before. In other words, his body didn't seem to belong to a mortal anymore. He could see that his body was filled with billowing waves and water vapor. A vast sea appeared. The fishy wind of the sea blew over, and a bright moon slowly rose from the surface of the sea. The bright moon hung above the sea. Sometimes, the sun shone brightly, and the sky was clear and cloudless. Sometimes, the stars shone brightly, and the night sky was picturesque, deep and mysterious, graceful and graceful. At the core of this body was a ball of extremely high-quality demonic chi, which surpassed all other types of demonic chi. It was spinning and emitting streams of energy. He was modifying this body. This sort of transformation could simply be said to have split the heavens and the earth and stood above the ages. Under this kind of transformation, the muscles of this body were all plump, smooth and flawless. Every muscle, every blood vessel, every bone, and every meridian seemed to have reached a kind of heaviness like gold, iron, diamonds, and stars. Moreover, they formed their own space, their own universe, and could accommodate all rivers in the world. An aura that belonged to a god burst forth from his body. It was holy and noble, surpassing everything. In fact, countless energy substances appeared within his body. These energy substances condensed into an endless world. They were densely packed together, as numerous as the grains of sand in an ocean. Every drop of blood was a world. Every bone was a world. Every acupuncture point was a world. Every cell was a world. These worlds were arranged and combined with each other, operating in the most perfect way. What connected these worlds were the chains of order and the ancient demon clan's talismans. Moreover, this body could automatically absorb the power of space and the elemental dust in the space into his body. Then, the dust would fuse with the particles of his own life force, and he would be able to seize the life force of heaven and earth. This body is definitely not an ordinary body. I'm afraid it's the body of a god. It can't be my body. The spiritual energy that truly belonged to Xiaofan suddenly burst out with a tearing pain. It was completely trembling. Sadness, helplessness, confusion, fear, and bewilderment. Then, it gradually turned into anger, unwillingness, hatred, and killing intent. This is my body. Yes, I, Xiaofan, am just a mortal. Compared to my current body, I am indeed very weak. I can be destroyed with a flick of a finger. But I will definitely not allow any living being to seize my body. Not allowed. Even if it's an immortal. Or a god. Roar. Xiaofan's spiritual energy burst out with a roar. Take back my body. Take it back. Even if I have to die with you. Boom! The spiritual wave that truly belonged to Xiaofan had originally been forcefully squeezed out and floated around his body. But now, it had turned into a blade-shaped object and was directly slashing towards his head. Humph. Let's die together. Even if I die. I can't let my body be seized by other living beings. Die. Xiaofan's spiritual energy contained a blade intent. It slashed towards his head. Xiaofan was being reckless. His idea was very simple. His soul would rush into his head and collide with the divine soul that had seized his body. A suicidal attack. The most optimistic outcome of such a collision of souls was that Xiaofan's own soul and the divine soul that had seized his body would perish together and dissipate. Then, Xiaofan's body would lose its soul, which was equivalent to being crippled. Brain dead. However, it was too difficult to perish together with the divine soul that had seized his body. That was the soul of a god. But Xiaofan had no other choice. Using spiritual energy to collide with it was already the only way to resist. Resist. He had to resist. Even if he failed, he couldn't just sit and wait for death. Die. Under the powerful spirit of seeking death, Xiaofan's soul actually burned. A domineering blade intent, like a tide, violently slashed out from Xiaofan's soul. This blade intent, without the support of true energy, was extremely pure, almost as if it could destroy the mortal world and was flawless. It seemed to have touched the essence of the way of the blade. The blade intent actually improved in this state. A wisp of thought flashed through Xiaofan's soul. Before coming to the demon metropolis, Xiaofan had sealed his cultivation base of the human race. It was all sealed. Seriously. Xiaofan was a blade cultivator, and he had comprehended the 1 in a million blade intent. Xiaofan's blade intent was at the middle stage. However, there was still a distance from the great success stage of the blade intent. However, at this moment, in this desperate situation, Xiaofan had abandoned his physical body, leaving only his spiritual energy. In this situation, his spiritual energy condensed into the shape of a blade, with the mentality that he would die, with the goal of perishing together. It actually made Xiaofan have a vague inspiration of the great success stage of the blade intent. Humans, in a state of great fear and even great despair, could indeed burst out to the greatest degree of life potential. Oh! That wisp of divine thought. It was slightly stunned. Immediately after, with a cold gaze, it glanced at Xiaofan's spiritual energy that was rushing over. Xiaofan's spiritual energy was actually as if it had fallen into a swamp, unable to advance an inch. This spiritual will is quite strong. That wisp of divine thought smiled slightly. Not bad, his comprehension of the blade is also extremely deep. The thickness of the soul is considered very strong in the ordinary plane, outstanding. For the cultivation of the human race, the soul is very important. The stronger the soul, the higher the talent of martial Tao, the higher the power of comprehension and memory. This kid's spiritual energy is different from ordinary people, it is very strong. If he is allowed to cultivate, one day in the future, he might also become an immortal. Can't even perish together with me? Xiaofan's spiritual energy was tightly imprisoned, as if it had fallen into a swamp. He was completely in despair, and in the midst of despair, there was also an indescribable unwillingness. Could it be that I, Xiaofan, am reincarnated, after experiencing all kinds of hardships, starting from being a weak living target? Xiaofan, desire power, desire to become stronger. I have worked hard, experienced the tempering of mountains of corpses and seas of bones, experienced countless tragic battles. Could it be that in the end, everything is still in vain? Damn it! Astonishingly, in the state of great despair, Xiaofan's spiritual fluctuations suddenly expanded, and countless saber lights flew out like snowflakes. Every saber light seemed to contain a wisp of natal saber chi. Saber intent, initial mastery of saber intent able to transform the surrounding air into saber chi. With the speed of sound, saber intent could slash and crush all living beings at will. Middle stage of saber intent not limited to objects. Grass, wood, bamboo, stone, air, water, everything in the world could be used as a saber. The speed of the saber surpassed the speed of sound. This realm was also known as bladeless. It was a realm where the absence of a blade triumphed over the presence of a blade. Large success in saber intent. A natal saber chi was born in his body. He could kill people with just a thought. He could lock souls from 1,000 miles away. He could kill people from 10,000 miles away. He could even shatter space. Saber intent entered godly mastery. His natal saber chi, mental energy, saber intent, battle will, and will were all brewed to the peak, cutting open the door to the saber realm that was close to nothingness, receiving the support of the ancient saber soul, and killing immortals and gods. But now, in his despair and unwillingness, Xiaofan had once again broken through his shackles. Within his soul, he had given birth to the life saber chi that could cut through gods and slay ghosts. His saber intent had reached greater mastery. Wang wang wang, the natal saber chi that was like snowflakes buzzed violently and accelerated. In the midst of the vibration, it suddenly disappeared, as if it had teleported. It directly disappeared from the state of confinement. In the next moment, the dense natal saber chi cut through the void and appeared near Xiaofan's body. Like a tornado, it strangled Xiaofan's body. The speed was so fast that it was close to the speed of light. The vibration was so intense that even heaven and earth resonated. The lingering force of the saber chi cut through the third floor of the demon metropolis. Countless buildings exploded. They were turned into ashes. The airflow between heaven and earth fluctuated wildly. Where the saber chi vibrated, tornadoes appeared, piercing through the void and destroying all 6 paths. His saber intent has reached the greater mastery mentioned by the human swordsman? His natal saber chi was born, and its speed is close to the speed of light. Instantly killing. Xiaofan's body suddenly moved a few times. Thousands of phantoms appeared, and dense spatial faults appeared. All the natal saber chi failed to slash through the air. However, the only remaining wisp of natal saber chi was a fish that escaped the net, and it immediately went for Xiaofan's head. Die. I'd rather destroy my own body than let an evil creature like you have your way. Trash. Go to hell. I'd rather die than live in dishonor. Xiaofan's soul became excited. He controlled the wisp of natal saber chi and directly attacked his head. Once his head exploded, everything would be over. To be continued. Chapter 372. The saber intent of the Great Success stage was very, very powerful. It was definitely not something that the saber intent of the middle stage could compare to. It could be said that it could kill anyone who stood in its way. The saber intent of the Great Success stage was not created by activating true chi, but the saber chi of life. It was controlled by the soul and could be used at will. With a thought, the saber chi could kill whoever it wanted. Moreover, the saber chi created by the saber intent of the Great Success stage was extremely fast, infinitely close to the speed of light. In the world of martial arts, only speed was unbeatable. Even the softest water flow could cut steel at an extremely fast speed, let alone the mysterious saber chi of life. It was infinitely close to the speed of light, which was countless times faster than the speed of sound. The saber chi could almost teleport and cut through everything. It was an invincible ultimate move. Xiaofan was confident that as long as this strand of natal saber chi struck his head, it would definitely be able to pierce through his head. He could perish together with that evil and powerful creature that had possessed him. However, oh! The divine soul let out a short exclamation. Then, it controlled Xiaofan's head to move slightly at an incredible speed and at an incredible angle. Poof! A small tuft of hair was cut off by the saber intent of life. This tuft of blood-red hair scattered into dozens of strands, swirling like willow catkins, and fell to the ground. He actually dodged it. Xiaofan's soul fluctuated and let out a sigh of disbelief, deep helplessness, and deep regret. However, Xiaofan had just comprehended the saber chi of life and suddenly released it. Until now, the small amount of saber chi had been used up. But it had been used up. He had to make up for it. It would probably take 10 days to half a month. At this moment, boom! 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 Dozens of strands of red hair fell to the ground. The power was as if the sky was collapsing and the earth was collapsing. The foundation of the 3rd floor of the monster metropolis was completely smashed. Even the crust of this area was cracked. A terrifying earthquake suddenly spread out with this area as the core. The area within a radius of 10,000 miles was completely shattered into ruins. Countless demon emperor-level creatures were shattered into pieces for no reason. Seeing this, Xiaofan was shocked once again. It was simply indescribable. Just a few dozen strands of hair were as heavy as mountains. When they smashed down, it was like a meteor crashing into the ground. The doomsday disaster. Too strong. He was ridiculously strong. Oh. Ha ha ha. My strength has recovered to less than 100,000th. Ha ha ha. After all, your body is still too weak to allow me to unleash too much power. Furthermore, I haven't mastered my heaven-defying cultivation technique. So. Ha ha ha. Next time we meet. Human young man, work hard. I hope, your body will be stronger than it is now. Only then will I be able to unleash more power. Ha ha ha. I hope you won't disappoint me. Ha ha ha. The voice of the divine soul contained endless mockery and ridicule. Then, poo poo poo, the aura of Xiaofan's body actually decreased by 1,000 miles. The invincible demon qi suddenly shrank, making a strange sound as if it was deflating air. The next moment, Xiaofan's spirit fluctuated and returned to the brain of his body. Bang! At the same time, Xiaofan's body seemed to have been squeezed dry. He lost all his strength and fell to the ground. I seem to be back. After a moment of absent-mindedness, Xiaofan found that his soul had returned to his body. He had regained control over his body. That guy, left on his own. Xiaofan's heart was filled with mixed feelings. He didn't know what to feel at the moment. However, the subtle feeling of surviving a disaster and regaining what was lost still lingered in his heart. But soon, Xiaofan's mind tensed up again. He felt a chill on his spine. My body was tampered with by that guy. It seems to have been modified. Xiaofan was frightened. He directly looked inside. After a few breaths, that's strange. My spirit fluctuated just now. He clearly saw that my body was modified by the extremely powerful demon qi. My body was filled with small worlds, and there were even countless demon clan talismans and chains of order. Almost every drop of my blood was a world of its own. But now, all the strange phenomena disappeared. My body is still the same as before. However, my vitality is extremely weak, as if I had just recovered from a serious illness, or like a lamp that has run out of oil. Xiaofan carefully looked inside and found that his current body was completely different from the god-spirit body that had just been possessed. His current body was still the same. There was no change. Moreover, before he came to the demon metropolis, the precious medicine that the master of the demon night tower gave Xiaofan had lost its efficacy. That precious medicine had given rise to boundless resentment and demonic qi inside of Xiaofan. It had even given birth to the demon realm, the kingdom of the demon realm. Because of that, Xiaofan had been able to perfectly disguise himself as a member of the demon realm, and then sneak into the demon capital to assassinate Yan Lang. But now, after the possession just now, the efficacy of the precious medicine was completely annihilated. Xiaofan regained the vitality of the human race. If those monster race sovereigns or even some ordinary monster emperors saw Xiaofan now, they would definitely recognize that Xiaofan was a human at first glance. Then, he looked at Zhuo Bing Emperor's palm. 600,000 demon veins. 13 demon emperor crystals. The capacity of each demon vein was 150 times that of an ordinary demon emperor. Nothing changed. Nothing had changed. I'm still me. An inexplicable ecstasy surged in him. However, in the blink of an eye, Xiaofan's heart started to tremble again. He carefully sent his mental fluctuations into the position of his heart. There were no changes in other parts of his body. All the strange phenomena had disappeared. Even Zhuo Bing Emperor's palm was the same as usual. Even the demon qi in his body that was used to disguise himself had disappeared. But as for his heart and the demon egg in his heart, Xiaofan did not dare to imagine. Finally, Xiaofan still looked at his heart. He looked inside. There were countless seals on the demon egg. It was already in disarray, and it was a scene of desolation and devastation. There were thousands of cracks on the eggshell, and terrifying demon qi seeped out from them. Moreover, there was an inexplicable throbbing inside the demon egg. Xiaofan could deeply sense that within the demon egg, there was a fearsome life being nurtured without restraint. The fluctuations of life within this demon egg were ridiculously strong. It was extremely evil, tyrannical, and absolutely invincible. It was countless times stronger than the demon hero pagoda master or wood fern emperor. 10,000 times? 100,000 times? 1,000,000 times? 10 million times? Such a difference. There was no way to describe it with numbers. It was like the difference between heaven and earth. It was like comparing an ant to a dragon. Xiaofan had a premonition. Once the life inside the demon egg broke out of its cocoon, it would bring an apocalyptic disaster that would destroy all worlds. Moreover, there were too many cracks on the eggshell, and demon qi leaked out at every moment. This was a terrible situation. Even if Xiaofan returned to the human world, ordinary people who had never cultivated martial arts would be able to feel the demon qi emanating from Xiaofan's body. Martial artists who had cultivated true qi could even sense the demon clan's secret treasure inside Xiaofan's body. The life inside the eggshell. I know. It must be the terrifying god that tried to possess me just now. It could kill a demon emperor with a wave of its hand and destroy this plane with a single thought. If that god really wanted to possess me, it would have succeeded. Even if I wanted to die together with it, it would be impossible, but it gave up on possessing me at the critical moment. It seems to have returned to the demon egg. It gave up on possessing me. No. It thinks that my body isn't strong enough for it to possess me perfectly, and it seems to be cultivating some secret technique and hasn't succeeded yet, so it's not in a hurry to possess me. Damn it. Am I going to be possessed again in the end? Could it be that my future cultivation is just to provide a more perfect home for it? Xiaofan's heart was cold. He felt a sense of doom, a feeling that he couldn't escape. A deep sense of despair gripped Xiaofan. He was disheartened. Could it be that from now on, everything that I, Xiaofan, have done is to help the wicked? It's all just a wedding dress for that evil and powerful god? I can't escape death in the end? When my body becomes stronger and stronger, or when that god succeeds in cultivating the heaven-defying technique, it will possess me again, erase my soul, and take over my body. Damn it! Xiaofan's eyes widened, and the corners of his eyes were about to tear. Be manipulated by others? No. If I self-destruct, then what? A thought that was close to abandoning himself to despair suddenly rose up in his mind. That god is too powerful. It is definitely more powerful than the legendary Immortals. Just now, that high-quality demonic qi temporarily transformed my body. I could see that even a single drop of blood in my body was like colored glass, sparkling and translucent. It contained the universe, the starry sky, time, planes, immortals, demons, hells, devil gods, all living beings, dust particles. I couldn't stop it from possessing me. No. How can I, Xiaofan, be a fool who will do anything for others? Instead of this, why not? Xiaofan's heart was completely cold. Self-destruction. However, just as this thought appeared in his mind, deep in Xiaofan's heart, there was a surge of unwillingness. Self-destruction? Everything will vanish like smoke. I, Xiaofan, have finally been reborn into this world, finally grasped a little bit of power, finally obtained precious dignity. But now, I have to self-destruction? No. Gone. Exin. Xiao. Suddenly, the life-saber qi in Xiaofan's soul flashed, killing all the negative emotions that had arisen in Xiaofan's heart. No matter what, if it wants to possess me again, it won't be a matter of a day or two. I still have time. Yes, I still have time, I still have a chance of survival. At this moment, all of a sudden, Xiaofan discovered that the seals on the surface of the eggshell, which had been shattered into pieces, were now shining brightly. The numerous seals were repairing themselves. And, wang, a round golden ball finally formed in Xiaofan's heart. Furthermore, with the golden orb as the center, ancient and mysterious formations were being set up. Puff. 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 1 array formation, 2 array formations, 3 array formations. A total of 4,309 formations were generated. It was the 10,000 Immortals formation. Xiaofan knew about this 10,000 Immortals formation. Only those who had cultivated their true qi to the 8th level of true qi, the talisman formation realm, were qualified to cultivate it. Originally, Xiaofan should not have been able to cultivate this technique at the moment. However, after Xiaofan refined the round golden stone taken from Yan Lang's body, it automatically set up 4,309 formations. This round golden stone contained some of the source energy needed to set up the 10,000 Immortals formation. It was a heaven-defying treasure that ensured that Yan Lang could survive in the demon metropolis for tens of thousands of years without being killed. However, this treasure was incomplete, and could not be used to set up 10,000 spirit formations. Now, after Xiaofan refined this treasure, the 4,309 formations did not spread out. Instead, they were set up around Xiaofan's body and wrapped around Xiaofan's heart. As a result, at least 70% of the demonic qi leaking out from the broken eggshell was blocked by the formations. Huh! That's good news. Inside of the demon egg is the invincible, evil creature. The seal on the surface of the egg has already shattered, and its sealing power is almost completely drained away. Originally, I was at my wit's end, but at the critical moment, this treasure set up 4,309 spell formations to block off more than half of the demonic qi leaking out of the demon egg. I wonder if these formations can stop the creature inside the demon egg from maturing and breaking out of its shell in the future. I have to reach the talisman formation realm as soon as possible, so that I can perfectly set up 10,000 formations in this 10,000 Immortals formation. That way, I'll be able to fight against the demon egg. Finally, Xiaofan found a hint of confidence to survive. With a thought, he used the spirit turtle true qi to wrap around the egg. With the 4,309 formations, the demonic qi leaking out from the demon egg was blocked by 80%, maybe even 90%. Basically, unless it's an ancient powerhouse, they won't be able to see through the demonic qi in my body. I'll return to the human world first. Xiaofan took a deep breath and stood up, trembling. Being possessed just now has caused my life force to wither and wither. It's as if I've just recovered from a long illness. I can't stay here for long. Xiaofan looked around and saw that the Woodfern Great Emperor and the other Great Emperors had already slipped away. However, with Xiaofan's current state, he would not be able to stop them if the Woodfern Great Emperor and the others returned. Let's leave the demon metropolis first. Xiaofan raised his left arm. Xiaofan injected all his demonic qi into the North Mystic Demon Emperor crystal. It was like an illusion. Xiaofan's body turned into a series of afterimages as he used greater teleportation. He was heading towards the Wuxia region of the human race. To be continued. Chapter 373. This trip to the demon metropolis was simply thrilling to the core for Xiaofan. Indeed, Xiaofan had several fortuitous encounters in the demon metropolis. The demon emperor palm on his left arm had awakened 600,000 demon veins and completed the ultimate mutation. The capacity of each demon vein was 150 times that of an ordinary demon emperor. This allowed Xiaofan to casually use the demon emperor palm on his left arm to unleash the power of 9 billion cauldrons. This mighty power was enough to break through the space barrier, crush the continental plate, and suppress the ages. With this kind of power, if it were to return to the human world, it would definitely shock countless people and shock the world. Moreover, there were 13 Demon Emperor crystals embedded in the left arm of the Demon Emperor palm. Moreover, Xiaofan had successfully imprisoned the greatest alchemist in the history of the human race, Yan Lang. He had also comprehended the great accomplishment saber intent that could only be encountered by chance. It could be said that the current Xiaofan had changed greatly from when he first came to the demon metropolis. He was like a completely different person. However, Xiaofan, on the other hand, had been possessed. He was possessed by a mysterious almighty. This matter was like a nightmare that haunted Xiaofan, and he could not get rid of it. Bone maggots. However, Xiaofan definitely couldn't solve this matter properly in the demon metropolis. He could only return to the human world first and see if he could find a good way to resolve the calamity. Swoosh, an illusory movement, like the great spatial shift, caused Xiaofan to flash in the direction of the human race's Wuxia domain. I should have directly flashed out of the demon metropolis. Xiaofan thought in a split second. I reckon that I can reach the human race's Wuxia fortress after using the illusory movement a few times in a row. Now the strong demonic aura in my body that was disguised as a demon has dissipated, and the demon egg in my heart. The monstrous and violent peerless demonic aura that it emitted has also been shielded by the 10,000 Immortals formation and the spirit turtle true chi. I think the human demon who guards the fortress won't see anything wrong, right? It will probably let me pass through the fortress smoothly. Phew, Xiaofan let out a long breath. Now, I'm no longer the Silver Mask Demon Emperor. I'm Xiaofan, Demon Hero Xiaofan. After leaving the demon metropolis, Xiaofan also felt a sense of relief. Moreover, he was eager to return. In the next instant, Xiaofan's shadow image disappeared without a trace. His true body stabilized, his feet firmly planted on the ground. First, Xiaofan smelled the pleasant fragrance of mountain grass and flowers, heard the gurgling sound of a flowing stream, and even heard the cheerful chirping of birds. It's the air of the human world. Xiaofan was very excited. After a few breaths, the scene in front of him became clear. Xiaofan raised his eyes to look, and then, his whole body became a little sluggish. What's going on? Xiaofan's feet did not move. They saw. This was a secluded valley with a clear stream flowing through it. Tall bamboos and some evergreen trees were planted in the valley in picturesque disorder. In the valley, there were a few huts built with tender bamboo and straw. The house was surrounded by a bamboo fence, and some chickens and ducks were eating. Colorful magpies and orioles singing merrily on the treetops. The vegetation in the valley was abundant, and a thin layer of green clouds lingered, making the whole valley glow with a kind of flowing color. Every grass and every tree gave people a feeling that they were carved out of jade. The mist surged, and the immortal charm was faintly discernible. A kind of small bridge, flowing water, clear stream accompanied by ancient vines, the quiet and serene atmosphere immediately enveloped Xiaofan. Everything. It was very much like the Shangri-La in the book of poems and paintings, the farmyard, giggle giggle quack quack, the chickens and ducks cried in harmony. No way. Xiaofan was stunned. It should be known that Xiaofan exerted all his strength, and the movement was like an illusion, flashing in the direction of the demon hero region. This movement was like an illusion, although it was similar to the movement technique of teleportation. At the cost of draining all the demon power of the demon emperor's palm in his left arm, he could teleport more than 1,000,000 kilometers at one time. But the direction of the teleportation was controlled by Xiaofan's consciousness, and there would be no mistake. There could not be the slightest deviation. It was about 10 million kilometers from the demon metropolis to the demon hero fortress of the human clan. There could not be such a quiet and comfortable valley in the middle. There could not be any green mountains and clear water, let alone a small farmyard. The road between the demon metropolis and the demon hero fortress of the human clan was desolate. Desolate. Gloomy. Jagged bones. Gloomy. Like hell. Not to mention ordinary humans, even the experts among the demon heroes of the human clan would absolutely not dare to build a hut and live a secluded life on this road. If this place is only 1,000,000 kilometers away from the demon metropolis, then this lively valley and this small farmyard should never appear. Could it be that there was a deviation when my movement was like an illusion, and it sent me in a completely different direction from the demon hero region? However, the possibility of this happening is extremely small. Waves of doubts rose in Xiaofan's heart. Suddenly, Xiaofan glanced out of the corner of his eyes. There was a middle-aged man sitting quietly at the bank of the jade water stream. He was fishing with a fishing rod in his hand. This middle-aged man was wearing a coarse green robe, and there were a few patches on his clothes, showing a bit of shabbiness, but his clothes were clean. Beside the middle-aged man in green, there was a child about 6 or 7 years old, also wearing a simple coarse linen robe. His skin was snow-white and delicate, and his black and white eyes flashed with an innocent expression. "Ah! Uncle, the fish has taken the bait. The fish has taken the bait." The boy suddenly cried out with joy, and his expression was extremely excited. Then, he gently raised his hand, and a fat fish was pulled up. "What a big one! I'm afraid it's 4 or 5 Gene." He praised and hurriedly threw the fish into the basket beside him. "Good! Uncle, today we have fish soup to drink again. Uncle, you are really good at fishing." The boy clapped his hands and cheered. "It can't be, right?" Xiaofan was confused, shocked, and astonished. "I used illusory movement and flashed out of the demon metropolis. When I returned to the Wuxia region, the place where I am now should be a desolate place, belonging to the border between the human territory and the demon territory. There should be no grass growing there. Life should be withering, but I inexplicably came to this valley with mountain flowers and grass. And what's even more strange is that there are actually people living here." Xiaohan's mind was tense, and his eyes looked at the middle-aged man who was fishing and the boy, and he thought to himself. Could it be? This old and young pair, are they demons? Or are they some hidden experts of the human race? Even I lost my way and came here. Is it because of these two people? But it should be impossible. I squeezed out all my demon power and used illusory movement in an instant. Unless it's those demon emperors or the top giants of the human race, it's impossible to change the direction of my teleportation. Yes, someone who could directly change the trajectory of Xiaohan's illusory movement was definitely a super expert. Xiaofan walked towards the stream cautiously, and he looked at the old and young pair. He thought to himself. Xiaohan's true qi surged, and he quietly took out a large number of heavenly desolate demon fruits from his storage ring, and fused them into his left demon emperor palm to replenish his lost demon power. It's nothing but death. This young master has even experienced something as terrifying as possession. If someone or a demon wants to play tricks on me, I'll be more than happy to entertain them. But they can't scare me. Xiaofan sneered in his mind. However, when Xiaofan took dozens of steps forward, he was shocked again. First of all, Xiaofan was sure that the old and young pair were definitely not demons. When facing them, the demon egg in his heart, there was not even the slightest fluctuation. Moreover, when Xiaofan opened the demon eye between his eyebrows, he could not see any trace of them being demons. No matter how perfect the demon disguise was, it could not hide from the demon egg and the demon eye. Humans? Xiaofan was slightly stunned. That's right, they're two humans. And, there's not even the slightest bit of true qi fluctuation. Not only is there no true qi fluctuation, but their auras are also very ordinary. Strange. The old and young pair were actually two ordinary people who had never cultivated martial arts. Xiaofan was even more surprised. He stopped in his tracks, and observed them carefully, making sure that he was not mistaken. The old and young pair's essence, qi, vitality, skin, bones, were all the state of ordinary people. They couldn't be any more ordinary. It should be known that for warriors who had cultivated qi, even if their cultivation was much higher than Xiaohan's, even if Xiaofan could not see through their true realm, Xiaofan would definitely be able to judge whether they had cultivated martial arts or not. Not to mention anything else, those who had cultivated martial arts were definitely different from ordinary people in terms of spirit and aura, a look, and a hint of temperament inadvertently revealed. At this moment, The green-robed middle-aged man who was fishing by the stream seemed to have finally noticed Xiaofan. He was slightly stunned, and he turned back to look at Xiaofan. He looked to be about 40 or 50 years old, and his face was thin. His eyes showed the vicissitudes of life, and there were crow's feet at the corners of his eyes. Ordinary people. Too ordinary. Because he had never cultivated martial arts, the middle-aged man's skin was not as firm as those of physical body realm martial artists. Because of his age, his skin had also gradually become loose. Little brother, where did you come from? The middle-aged man asked, puzzled. Although his voice was full and loud, it lacked chi, and it seemed that his internal organs were weak. Uncle, this little brother. The child also turned around, and his eyes widened as he looked at Xiaofan. Little guy, don't make trouble. The middle-aged man reprimanded in a low voice, and then he stuck the fishing rod into the stream, stood up, and walked toward Xiaofan. Little brother, you? How did you find this place? This is really strange. I have lived here in seclusion for more than 10 years, and no one has ever set foot here. In Xiaofan's heart, he was sure that this old and young pair were ordinary people without a doubt. His tense mind also relaxed, and he thought that there might really be a problem when he was using illusory movement just now, and thus he mistakenly entered this paradise. Big brother, you don't have to be so polite. This little brother came here by chance. The environment here is quiet, big brother really knows how to enjoy life. TSK, this atmosphere of standing aloof from worldly affairs is really fascinating. Xiaofan said with a smile. It had been a long time since he had seen a normal human, and Xiaofan was full of good feelings towards this old and young pair. Standing aloof from worldly affairs, yes. To be the companion of the flowing water, to be friends with the swimming fishes, to admire the green trees, mountain flowers, and quiet grasses, what more can one ask for in life? The middle-aged man seemed to be a bit proud, and he could not help but shake his head. Seeing this, Xiaofan could not help but laugh. It seemed that this person was perhaps a scholar who lived in seclusion due to his lack of ambition in life, and thus lived in seclusion until his old age in the forest, or something like that. With the corner of his eyes, Xiaofan saw that behind the few thatched cottages, there was also a dozen mu of farmland. Spinach, rice, corn, and everything that one could think of could be found there. Little brother, a chance encounter is not as good as an invitation. Since you have already come to my house, then please stay for a few days before leaving. The middle-aged man said enthusiastically. His words were very sincere and simple. Little brother, stay for a few days before leaving. Can you play with me? That little boy also ran over, bouncing and skipping. Xiaofan was slightly stunned. Then, he shook his head bitterly. It should be known that Xiaofan was currently restless because of that mysterious demon egg. He definitely did not have the mood to stay in this farmhouse. He wished that he could grow a pair of wings and quickly return to the chivalrous pagoda. He wanted to see if he could use the vast amount of knowledge that the human clan's chivalrous pagoda had inherited over countless years to find a way to restrain that demon egg. Moreover, Xiaofan also wanted to quickly cultivate to the talisman formation realm, and then set up a perfect 10,000 immortal formation to protect his heart. Thank you for your kindness, big brother. Xiaofan smiled and touched the little boy's head. But I have important matters to attend to, so I will not disturb you. Little brother, since you are already here, stay for a few days. The middle-aged man persuaded bitterly. Wouldn't it be good to chat with big brother? In this secular world, there are so many troubles. So many people are blinded by greed, and so many people put away their bows when they are done. It is better here, peaceful, and worry-free. Come, little brother, today you can taste the authentic farmhouse dishes. Big brother, I really appreciate your kindness. Xiaofan modestly declined again and again. Then, he took a step to the side and nodded slightly. Big brother, little friend, I will leave now. After saying that, Xiaofan turned around and walked out of the valley. He thought, I will use illusory movement again. If I use it a few times, I should be able to return to the chivalrous region. At this moment, big uncle, little brother is leaving. Big uncle, will you continue to tell me the story of egg today? Yesterday, you said that there was a big demon living in that egg. Big uncle, I want to hear it again today. The little boy said crisply. Ha 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 ha, good, today I will continue to tell you, ha 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 ha, the story about egg. The middle-aged man also laughed. Hearing that, Xiaofan's body shook violently. It was simply thrilling. He could not control himself at all. About the story about the egg? To be continued, high-speed first release of the latest chapter of The Demon God. This chapter is chapter 373, the story about the egg. 37-178, address. Chapter 374. A story about the egg? Inside the egg, there was a very powerful monster. Xiaofan was scared out of his wits when he heard the conversation between the old man and the young man. All the blood in his body froze. Clay sculpture. He stood there in a daze. He was completely petrified. There was a mysterious demon egg in Xiaofan's heart. Only Xiaofan himself knew about it, apart from the supreme evil creature that was being bred in the egg. Even the powerful Wuxia Tower Master and the Woodfern Great Emperor didn't know that there was a demon egg in Xiaofan's heart. They could only see that Xiaofan's body contained a powerful demonic aura. That was all. I used illusory movement to enter the Wuxia domain and return to the human world. I can't be wrong. But it just so happened that we ended up in this farmer's courtyard. This is a first-class miracle, and these two people just had to keep talking about eggs. Xiaofan was shocked to the core. They're not ordinary people. I, Xiaofan, have misjudged them. They can't be ordinary people. Things can't be so clever. Xiaofan also understood that the creature being bred in the demon egg was absolutely invincible. No one in the world could match it. It would finally occupy Xiaofan's body one day and try to possess him again. It would completely erase Xiaofan's soul. It would turn Xiaofan into ashes, beyond redemption, and no longer exist in this world. It was almost impossible to escape from this disaster. But Xiaofan would not sit and wait for death. He would fight for the slightest chance to overcome this disaster with his life. And now, the conversation between the old man and the young man showed that they knew the origin of the demon egg. They had deliberately waited for Xiaofan here. Could it be? Were they going to enlighten it? Point out the right path? For a moment, Xiaofan's head was burning, and his heart was pounding wildly. He suddenly turned around, his legs trembling. Big brother. No, senior, I was impolite just now. Please forgive me, senior, Xiaofan said respectfully. It should be known that the old man and the young man. The fact that they were capable of reversing Xiaofan's movements meant that they were at least as strong as the Woodfern Emperor and the Demon's Lair Pagoda. Therefore, it was reasonable for Xiaofan to respectfully address him as senior. Oh. Seeing Xiaofan turn around and speak respectfully, the green-clothed middle-aged man was startled. He seemed to be very confused. Little brother, you are. Senior. Junior has misjudged you. Xiaofan blushed with shame. Senior, please don't blame me. Little brother, you're really. This. Where did this come from? What mistake? You've really confused me. The green-clothed middle-aged man's face was full of confusion, but he still acted like it. Uncle, what is this little brother saying? Little Chen doesn't understand. The little boy was also blinking his eyes in confusion. Judging from their appearances, Xiaofan's heart skipped a beat. It was said that experts were unworldly and unconventional. Sometimes, they would even feign ignorance. From the looks of it, these two were unwilling to meet him in person. In that case, Xiaofan took a deep breath and decided to throw caution to the wind. He pulled himself together and walked back in a few steps, speaking in a well-behaved manner. "Senior, it's nothing. This junior would also like to hear the story about the egg." "Ha ha ha. Little brother, do you want to hear the story?" "Ha ha ha. That's good, that's good. I've always lived in seclusion and rarely interacted with others. I only tell stories to little Chen. Since you want to hear it, I'm more than happy to hear it." The green-clothed middle-aged man chuckled. The little boy was also clapping his hands, his face full of joy. Xiaofan didn't say anything else after this. Since these two were willing to tell him the story about the egg, he would open his ears and listen. "How about this, little brother? Let's eat first and then tell the story. What do you think?" The green-clothed middle-aged man invited warmly. Xiaofan naturally didn't dare disobey. "Yes, senior." "Ha ha ha, there's no need to call me senior. If little brother thinks highly of me, you can call me big brother. Calling me senior is too much." The green-clothed middle-aged man was extremely polite. Xiaofan thought that this eccentric person's temper was very strange. However, he didn't argue and said carefully, "Yes, big brother. That's right." The green-clothed middle-aged man patted Xiaofan's shoulder. "Little brother, we're eating fish today. Can you help me remove the scales?" "Remove the scales?" "No problem," Xiaofan quickly said. So, Xiaofan sat by the stream and took out a few fat fish from the basket. He asked the green-clothed middle-aged man for a short knife and seriously began to clean them. He removed the scales, removed the fish's organs, and washed them. Soon, lunch was ready. It was a banquet of wild vegetables. However, the green-clothed middle-aged man treated Xiaofan quite well. He specially killed a chicken and a duck and treated Xiaofan with great hospitality. During the meal, there was nothing unusual. Xiaofan simply let go and ate to his heart's content. It had to be said that this middle-aged man in green had superb culinary skills. He was only cooking ordinary wild vegetables, farmhouse chicken, duck, and fish, but he was cooking them so well that Xiaofan almost swallowed his own tongue as he cheered. After the meal, the child obediently cleaned up the dishes. Then, he brewed 2 cups of tea and served them. The 3 of them sat around a stone table in the farmhouse's courtyard. Xiaofan looked at the green-clothed middle-aged man eagerly. "Heh." The green-clothed middle-aged man smiled. Suddenly, his gaze became a little playful. He took a sip of tea and smiled. "Little brother, the story of this egg is just a story. Do you understand?" Xiaofan was stunned. He didn't understand the green-clothed middle-aged man's true intentions. "Big brother, what does this mean?" Suddenly, the green-clothed middle-aged man raised his head and looked at the blue sky. Then, he lowered his voice and said to Xiaofan, "Little brother, what your big brother means is, this story is made up by your big brother. Just listen to it and don't take it seriously. And don't ever tell this story to anyone else. Do you understand?" The green-clothed middle-aged man's voice seemed to become extremely serious. For a moment, Xiaofan's mind. All kinds of thoughts came one after another. These two. There was no doubt that they were experts and eccentric people. But they always pretended to be ignorant. Now that they wanted to tell the story of the egg, they repeatedly warned me that it was just a fictional story. Could it be that they also had some hidden troubles? Or, this was originally a big secret. They had some scruples and didn't dare to say it out loud. So, they beat around the bush and used the method of a story to enlighten me? Xiaofan's thoughts were exquisite. With such thoughts in mind, he solemnly nodded his head and said, "Big brother, little brother understands. This is just a story, there's no hidden meaning." Yes. I finished listening to this story. And I forgot about it. Big brother, please tell me this purely fictional story. Just treat it as a fun time after dinner. Ha 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 ha. The green-clothed middle-aged man nodded and laughed. Good, good, little brother, it's good that you understand. Big uncle, quickly tell me the story. The child took out something similar to a goose egg from somewhere and put it on the stone table. Big uncle, quickly tell me. Okay, okay, okay. Big uncle will tell me now. The green-clothed middle-aged man used his hand to touch the child's little head. Then, he picked up the egg on the stone table and looked at Xiaofan. Little brother, once upon a time, there was a group of monsters. A monster that could eat people. The leader of this monster was very powerful. Ordinary hunters not only couldn't control it, but would also be killed by it. Yes. Big brother, this monster seems to be very powerful. Xiaofan's mind was completely attracted by this story. However, the number of monsters was much less than the hunters. The hunters often joined forces to kill this group of monsters. The green-clothed middle-aged man's eyes were also blurred. He seemed to have fallen into a long and tedious memory. He said slowly, the battle between the monsters and the hunters, year after year, day after day. I don't know how many years it has been fighting. Many monsters died, and many hunters also died. Sigh, it was very tragic. The casualties on both sides were too heavy, so the hunters swore that they would slaughter all the monsters. The monsters on the other side were not to be trifled with. The monsters on the other side were not to be trifled with. The monsters also wanted to eat all the hunters. Especially the leader of the monsters. Not only was he very powerful, but he was also very cunning. Is he talking about the battle between the human race's monsters and the demon race? Xiaofan's heart moved, but his expression did not change. He said cautiously, "Big brother, what happened after that?" Suddenly, the green-clothed middle-aged man's muscles twitched slightly. He seemed to recall something extremely terrible. He weighed the goose egg in his hand a few times. After that, something happened. Look at this egg. Xiaofan stared at the goose egg. This egg, in the story, is not a goose egg, chicken egg or duck egg. This is the egg of the strongest monster in the universe. This monster is also very powerful. It is not weaker than the leader of the monsters. Little brother, let me tell you, this monster can swallow the sun in one breath. Do you think it's powerful? Swallow the sun? Xiaofan's heart skipped a beat. That's really powerful. Yes, it's powerful. However, after the monster laid this egg, it was exhausted. Its soul withered and died. The green-clothed middle-aged man looked far away, as if there was a distant world there. The monster died, but the leader of the monsters is very powerful. He found this egg. Then, the leader of the monsters wanted to use this egg to make himself stronger. What do you think happened to it? What happened? Xiaofan blurted out. This monster went into that egg. It had abandoned its own body. But don't think that the leader of the monsters is a fool. It abandoned its body and used its soul and spirit to incubate the egg. Little brother, guess what kind of strange thing it is when the egg hatches? The green-clothed middle-aged man's voice trembled. The strongest monster in the universe and the leader of the monsters. Once it hatches, it will be the strongest and most terrifying existence. All the hunters cannot defeat such a monster. Xiaofan said with a trembling voice. Yes, this is a parasite. The azure-clothed middle-aged man took a sip of tea. Xiaofan noticed that his hands were trembling slightly. If this monster leader successfully hatches an egg, then it will be terrible. In this world, all the hunters, as well as the hunters' families and relatives, will all die. This world will be occupied by the monsters. After pausing for a moment, the green-clothed middle-aged man took a deep breath. Later on, a hunter discovered the monster leader's terrifying plan. Then, the hunter team and the monsters had a fierce and cruel battle. It was a bloodbath. Blood was everywhere, and there was killing everywhere. Who knows how many hunters died in that battle, and who knows how many monsters died. Even the heavens cried, and it rained cats and dogs for a few months. In the end, the egg was snatched by the hunters. However, the hunters did not have the ability to destroy the egg. The hunters held a meeting. In the end, a large group of hunters used their own power to seal the egg. They froze the life of the egg so that the leader of the monsters inside could not successfully break out of the egg. Hearing this, Xiaofan seemed to understand something. His heart was completely grasped. Big brother, then. What happened after that? After that, more monsters came to snatch the egg. The two sides fought and fought until the sky was dark. The green-clothed middle-aged man shook his head. In the end, the egg was left behind. Left behind? Left behind. Where did it go? Xiaohan's mouth was dry. It was left behind in another world. Suddenly, the green-clothed middle-aged man looked deeply into Xiaohan's eyes. After this egg was left behind in another world, it first went into the body of a little monster. This little monster was, of course, muddle-headed. It only felt that it was getting stronger day by day. However, good times did not last long. This little monster was killed by a hunter in that world. After the little monster died, the egg secretly went into the heart of a young boy who was beside the hunter. Xiaohan's blood froze. He was so fascinated that he could not control himself. His voice was choked with sobs. Yes. Yes. The little monster was killed by the hunter. Then a young boy who was watching the show with the hunter felt an inexplicable pain in his heart. I see. From then on, that egg was lodged in that young boy's heart. The green-clothed middle-aged man shook his head slightly. The story is over. Little brother, it's fine if you just listen to it. This is just a story. Shockingly. Xiaofan stood up immediately. His body was trembling. Big brother, that young man is innocent. That egg somehow wormed its way into his heart. In the beginning, nothing happened between the young man and the egg. However, gradually, the seals on the eggshell began to loosen, and the life force of the egg began to circulate again. One day, the monster head in the egg will hatch. It will kill the young man, and it will definitely bring about an apocalyptic disaster. Big brother, how do you think the young man should deal with it? Please tell me. To be continued. Chapter 375. The azure-robed middle-aged man finished telling Xiaofan the story of the egg. Hearing this, Xiaofan felt like he had been struck by lightning. His soul trembled. He couldn't do it himself. It was obvious that Xiaofan was an important part of this story. The azure-robed middle-aged man had already pointed it out. In this story, the egg eventually burrowed into the heart of a young man who was watching the fun. The creature in the egg was still growing. Sooner or later, it would hatch into an invincible monster that could dominate the universe. And this young man watching the show was naturally Xiaofan. Unexpectedly, this green-clothed middle-aged man was very clear about Xiaofan's situation. As clear as a candle flame. Monster leader? Could it be that the head of the demons is? Xiaofan's mind was in a mess. Demon. Demon god? The faith of countless demons in countless planes? In other words, an existence as powerful as the demon god had abandoned its physical body and sent its soul into the egg of the strongest monster in the universe. The demon immortal's soul would fuse with the monster egg, and the resulting entity would be invincible. Devouring the stars, covering the sky with one hand, slaughtering immortals like slaughtering chickens and dogs. Xiaofan couldn't help but shiver. Trembling with fear. Suddenly, an idea flashed through Xiaofan's mind. Oh. Ha ha ha. I've only recovered less than 100,000th of my strength. I've been put in a very difficult situation by you. Ha ha ha. After all, your body is still too weak to allow me to unleash too much of my strength. Furthermore, I haven't mastered my heaven-defying cultivation technique yet. Therefore. Ha ha ha. Next time we meet. Young man of the human race, work hard. Next time, your body. It could be stronger than it was now. Only in this way will this lord be able to display even greater strength. Ha 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 ha. I hope you won't disappoint this lord. Ha 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 ha. These were the words of the evil creature that was trying to possess Xiaofan. If Xiaofan's guess was correct, this extremely powerful evil creature should be the demon god. It was the leader of the demon race, who had abandoned his physical body and integrated his soul into the egg of the cosmic behemoth. It still hasn't mastered its heaven-defying cultivation method? Xiaofan couldn't help but nod. I got it. The demon god's soul had yet to merge with the egg of the cosmic behemoth. A perfect fusion. It's not time to hatch yet. Right now, my body is like the demon god's dwelling. When its soul perfectly fused with the giant beast egg and hatched, it would be able to seize my body and appear in the form of a giant beast to conquer the world. In any case, no matter what, as long as the demon god succeeds, I will definitely die. Big brother. Please give that young man a way out. Xiaofan said with a trembling voice. The green-robed middle-aged man nodded. He couldn't help but look up at the blue sky and fell silent. Big brother. The situation is extremely perilous. Now that things had come to this, Xiaofan no longer hid anything and poured everything out to his heart's content. That monster leader hasn't been able to perfectly fuse with the Ultralisk's egg, but if it succeeds, then this world will be destroyed. No one in the universe could stop it. It would sweep through the universe, and no one would be its match. Big brother, I am trying to save myself, but I am also trying to save the world. Don't let the egg hatch. Big uncle, what should we do now? The child also looked at the green-clothed middle-aged man in a daze. A dozen breaths later, the middle-aged man withdrew his gaze and looked at Xiaofan. The egg can't be destroyed. The egg contains the power to destroy the world. If we forcefully destroy the egg, the consequences will be unimaginable. I'm afraid that even the universe will be destroyed and return to chaos. And now, the seal on the surface of the egg is extremely weak, and the surface of the egg is riddled with holes. There are two ways to stop this catastrophe. Finally, the green-clothed middle-aged man's expression became very serious and stern. Big brother, what are the two ways? Xiaofan held his breath. First, have those highly skilled hunters find that youth, kill him, and carefully extract the egg from his heart. Then, place more seals on the eggshell to freeze the growth of the eggshell. Hide the egg, suppress it, and prevent the demons from finding it. The azure-robed middle-aged man smiled. This. Xiaofan's heart went cold. Kill me? Cut open my heart? Then dig out the demon egg, place countless seals, and control the incubation speed of the demon egg? Kill me? Xiaofan squinted his eyes slightly and looked at the green-clothed middle-aged man. This person's background is unknown, and his words are shocking. He knows the origin of the demon egg like the back of his hand. He might be a legendary immortal. Could it be that he came to find me, to kill me? Xiaofan tried his best to control his emotions. Big brother, what's the second way? The second way is. The green-clothed middle-aged man suddenly looked at Xiaofan with a playful expression. If that young man is able to defeat the evil creature in the egg, then all the problems will be easily solved. Defeat. Hearing this, Xiaofan's throat choked. The heavens have mercy on me. That's a demon god. An existence even more terrifying than the immortals. Who knows how many immortals it has killed? With a single thought, it can control the life and death of a plane. How to defeat it? It's completely unimaginable. Moreover, the demon egg had fused with Xiaofan's heart. In fact, it was already a part of Xiaofan's body. In other words, did Xiaofan have to fight with his own heart? Heh. The green-clothed middle-aged man smiled. The first way is fast, but it's not very appropriate. Little brother, think about it. Even if you kill that young man, dig out the egg from his heart, and seal it again, it's hard to guarantee that the egg won't be lost again, right? Moreover, this egg is already half broken, it's no longer intact. Sealing it again is useless. It can only delay the incubation of the evil spirit in the egg, but it can't be sealed forever. 100,000 years, 1,000,000 years, 10 million years, in short, there will be a day when the evil spirit in the egg will be born. Sigh. The green-clothed middle-aged man sighed. Perhaps many hunters will choose to find this young man, kill him first, and dig out the egg first. But this is only treating the symptoms, not the root cause. Little brother, your big brother thinks that instead of delaying a bit, it's better to let that young man fight with the evil spirit in the egg. It's better to let that young man fight the evil spirit in the egg. The azure-robed middle-aged man frowned slightly. Of course. The young man can defeat the evil spirit in the egg. The possibility is very small. But if he succeeds, it'll be over once and for all. Once and for all, little brother, don't you think so? Yes. Xiaofan was not an idiot. The seemingly casual conversation between the two of them was, in fact, related to Xiaofan's life and death. Life and death. His life was hanging by a thread. Obviously, if they chose the first way, then Xiaofan would die without a doubt. The hunters that the green-clothed middle-aged man spoke of. They were probably powerful existences like immortals. If he was chased by a group of immortals, then it would be hard for Xiaofan not to die. Therefore, when the green-clothed middle-aged man mentioned the second way, to let Xiaofan defeat the evil spirit in the egg, Xiaofan almost did not think and nodded. Heh. The green-clothed middle-aged man looked at Xiaofan calmly. Little brother, do you also think the second way is more appropriate? It seems like we have the same idea. Ha ha ha. At this moment, suddenly, an even greater sense of helplessness drowned Xiaofan like a tide. Xiaofan laughed at himself and sat down dejectedly. Defeat the evil spirit in the egg. Yes, I do have strong confidence. I have experienced too many times to survive in the face of death. Fight after fight, counterattack after counterattack. My spirit has been sharpened to the extreme. I've never given up, not even when I faced the Hierophant Pagoda, not even when I faced the treacherous and well-protected Yen Lang, not even when I faced the strongest monster on this plane, Great Emperor Woodfern. But, to defeat the evil spirit in the egg. That was a demon god. That was a god. To defeat a god? In the demon metropolis, the demon god possessed Xiaofan for a short period of time. Because Xiaofan's physical body was not strong enough to bear all of the demon god's energy, the demon god could only use less than 100,000th of the demon god's energy after possessing Xiaofan. Even so, he was still able to squash a demon the arch to death like an ant. Xiaofan only realized how insignificant he was after witnessing that kind of almost invincible power. What's wrong, little brother? It seems like you are very disheartened. The green-clothed middle-aged man looked at Xiaofan. Xiaofan did not speak. Ha 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 ha! Suddenly, the green-clothed middle-aged man laughed loudly and stared at Xiaofan. Little brother, let me ask you a question. Oh? Xiaofan raised his head slightly. Little brother, in the story, the demon egg eventually burrowed into the heart of a young man. Do you think that young man regretted it? The green-clothed middle-aged man asked seriously, emphasizing each word. If he had another chance, if that young man had a choice, do you think he would refuse the demon egg? This. Boom. Xiaohan's mind exploded. Regret? If he had another chance, would he still choose the demon egg? The green-clothed middle-aged man's questions were like thunder, shocking Xiaofan. It was a complete and utter enlightenment. In the next moment, the helplessness and dejection in Xiaohan's eyes disappeared without a trace, replaced by a touch of determination and indifference, as well as a kind of relief. Thank you for the advice, big brother. Xiaofan suddenly smiled freely. He also sank into his memories. Big brother, back then, that young man was just a living target, bullied and humiliated all day long. He was bound to die sooner or later. If he hadn't obtained the demon egg, would he still be alive today? His bones would have been cold. Moreover, the living target would have been thrown into a barren mountain, without even a grave. Ha 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 ha, he obtained the demon egg. Although it was a huge hidden danger, he at least relied on the demon egg to obtain many opportunities. Until now, he could be considered proud and proud. If he had another chance, he would still choose to accept the demon egg. Ha ha ha. I understand now. I understand now. Xiaofan clenched his fists, his eyes filled with fighting spirit. This life was also picked up. What's the harm in taking a gamble now? Come. Kill. The evil spirit in the egg is a god. A god of the demon race, but why should I, Xiaofan, fear it? Defy the heavens. Who says that I, Xiaofan, cannot defy the heavens? If the god wants to destroy me, then I will kill the god. Ha 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 ha. The green-clothed middle-aged man also laughed. His expression was one of relief. Little brother, you really have a backbone. Ha ha ha. One must have a backbone. If you're a coward, you should just die, right? Ha ha ha. At this moment, Xiaohan's state of mind. It had already undergone a transformation. There was a kind of withered wood coming back to life. It was a completely new feeling. His spirit and temperament had also undergone earth-shattering changes. His state of mind was like the blazing sun, cloudless for thousands of miles. Big brother, please ask little brother, how do you defeat the demon god in the egg? Suddenly, Xiaofan stood up and faced the green-clothed middle-aged man. He bowed deeply, his attitude was very respectful. The green-clothed middle-aged man smiled. Little brother, you're welcome. Right, little brother, when you helped me to remove the fish scales, what did you use? Huh? Xiaofan was stunned. Big brother, little brother uses a saber. Saber. A saber can remove fish scales, and it can also slay demons. A saber can also protect the body. The green-clothed middle-aged man smiled. Can a saber cut a river, a waterfall? This. Xiaofan licked his lips. Big brother. Ordinary sabers can't cut a waterfall, but saber intent can. Can a saber cut the void? The green-clothed middle-aged man asked repeatedly. A saber cannot. Saber intent can. Xiaofan nodded. Saber intent? If heaven has feelings, saber intent is merciless. The green-clothed middle-aged man also stood up. Little brother, where's your saber? The saber is here. Xiaohan's mind moved slightly, and the air around him fluctuated, creating a sawtooth saber ripple, cutting the air and making a chi-chi sound. Little brother, your saber intent, what use do they have? The green-clothed middle-aged man stared at Xiaofan. Slay demons, slay inner demons, slay void, slay negative emotions, Xiaofan answered. Good, good. Slay external demons, inner demons, slay negative emotions, slay all nothingness. The green-clothed man nodded satisfactorily. That evil spirit in the egg, is it also an inner demon? Boom! Xiaofan's mind was a blank. A touch of enlightenment surged into Xiaofan's mind. Big brother. This little brother seems to have understood a little. Saber intent, saber intent. Xiaofan was completely intoxicated. Big brother, you mean to use the saber intent to slay the divine soul of the demon god before the demon egg hatches? Yes, before the demon god hatches, it has no physical form, it only has a soul. To defeat it, to destroy it, the only way is to erase its soul. Now that the demon egg has fused with my heart, if I destroy the demon egg, it's no different from destroying my heart. If I'm not careful, the egg will break and I will die. The only way to defeat the demon god is to erase its soul. With saber intent. To me, the demon god's soul is equivalent to my inner demon. Yes, it's an inner demon. Yes. Saber intent and sword intent can slay inner demons and negative emotions. Of course, to slay an inner demon, I can't rely on external forces, I can only rely on myself. Right now, my saber intent is at the great accomplishment stage, it seems like I can't slay the demon god's soul with one slash. I have to persevere on the path of comprehending saber intent. The great accomplishment stage of saber intent was not the end of the path of saber intent. Above the great accomplishment stage of saber intent, there was still saber intent godly. Saber intent godly meant that one's natal saber chi, mental strength, saber intent, battle intent, and state of mind had all been brewed to the peak, cutting open the door to the saber realm that was close to nothingness, receiving the blessing of the ancient saber soul, and killing immortals and gods. Big brother, what's the door to the saber realm? Xiaofan suddenly asked. Ha 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 ha. The green-robed middle-aged man did not answer Xiaofan. Instead, he burst into laughter. Suddenly, his entire body emitted an ethereal aura. With a gentle grasp of his right hand, the little boy, Little Chen, turned into a horsetail whisk. In the next moment, the green-robed middle-aged man, wearing a feathered robe and holding a horsetail whisk in his hand, was surrounded by immortal chi and emitted an aura beyond the 9 heavens. He looked at Xiaofan and nodded. The door to the saber realm, it's a spiritual world. Ha ha ha. Xiaofan, I hope you won't disappoint me. There's only one way to kill a demon god, and that's to destroy its soul. Right now, the demon god is residing in your body. Only you have the chance to destroy its soul. You're on your own now. With a wave of the horsetail whisk, the space and time reversed. That person had already disappeared. At the same time, Xiaofan's heart warmed up. The golden orb that had been refined in his heart was glowing brightly. This golden orb was originally a damaged treasure. Now, it seemed to have been repaired. It shot out one formation after another. Not long after, 10,000 ancient formations were set up around Xiaofan's heart. They circulated continuously, blocking the demonic chi leaking out from the demon egg in his heart. In a daze, Xiaofan's vision blurred. He found that the valley, the farmhouse, the mountains, and the rivers had all disappeared. He was standing on a brownish-yellow path with withered grass and demonic chi lingering in the air. To be continued. Chapter 376. At this moment, Xiaofan stood silently on the rustling path, as if it was a lifetime ago. On one side of the path was the monster metropolis, and on the other was the Wuxia fortress. Xiaofan turned around and stared in the direction of the monster metropolis. He could not help but shake his head. I really didn't expect my trip to the monster metropolis to be so smooth. Xiaofan was in no hurry to return to the Wuxia region. Instead, he sat down cross-legged and various thoughts flowed through his mind like water. The senior who enlightened me earlier must be an immortal. Moreover, before he left, he repaired the treasure that contained the 10,000 immortals formation, so that the round golden stone could set up 10,000 formations. Now, the power of time and space circulated endlessly near my heart, causing the aura of the demon egg to be completely concealed. Even the tower master of the demon-slaying pagoda won't be able to sense even a trace of the demon clan's origin energy from my body. Xiaofan's mind was already flawless. There was no longer any despair or helplessness. Instead, he was full of fighting spirit. He directly looked inside. The round golden stone shone brightly. Layers of ancient formation mist sprayed out, wrapping around the demon egg in his heart. The demon egg wriggled slightly, steaming with a domineering, dictatorial, evil, invincible, and supreme aura. Xiaofan could vaguely sense the will of the demon god. However, the many seals around the demon egg were also mottled with starlight, repairing themselves. The 10,000 Immortals formation contains a total of 10,000 formations. Every single formation can suppress demon chi. Now, it seems that the incubation speed of the demon egg has become extremely slow. As long as the demon god doesn't appear, I, Xiaofan, will still have a chance to survive. With the 10,000 Immortals formation shielding the demon chi, Xiaofan used the spirit turtle true chi again. The 50 true acupoints in his body revolved at the same time, emitting the sound of surging tides. Strands of true chi were infused into the demon god's palm, completely concealing the aura of the demon god's palm. That way, even the great figures of the human demons, or even the master of the tower, would not be able to sense even the slightest fluctuation of demon chi from Xiaofan. That's better. Xiaofan nodded with satisfaction. Now, I, Xiaofan, don't have any trace of demon chi on me. Even if I face the tower master of the hero pagoda, I'm afraid he can't find a reason to harm me, right? However, I had to be careful. Those old fogies from the monster hero tower weren't easy to deal with. Sly as an old fox, he could not trust them. Also, according to what the azure-robed immortal said, most of the immortals want to find me and kill me first. They want to kill the goose that lays the golden eggs and dig out the demon egg from my heart. I have to be careful and be extra vigilant. Since the azure-robed immortal could come to this plane, the other immortals might be able to find me. As Xiaofan pondered, he checked the condition of his vitality and prepared to return to the devil hero domain, because the demonic aura that had filled his internal organs and accumulated in his acupoints had dissipated. Xiaofan was now able to use the true energy that he hadn't used for a long time. All 50 of his acupoints were filled with true energy. Furthermore, Xiaofan had already accumulated enough true meridian during this training, allowing him to open his 51st true meridian at any time. Xiaofan was also very optimistic about the number of times he could expand his acupoints. When he returned to the monster hero tower, Xiaofan would go into seclusion, get rid of all distracting thoughts, and open his 51st true meridian in one go. The heat of the indestructible golden body flowed on the surface of Xiaofan's body, causing each of his pores to emit hazy starlight. It was a spectacular sight. The saber intent of the great accomplishment stage caused Xiaofan's body to produce a natal saber chi. This natal saber chi had fused with Xiaofan's soul and was sent out with Xiaofan's will. It was near the speed of light, and it could slay gods and ghosts and cut through the sky with just a thought. Now, Xiaofan knew that the demon god was his inner demon. To kill it, he had to improve his saber intent again. He had to reach the legendary saber intent godly. He could sense the saber realm. He could guide the ancient saber soul and add it to his natal saber chi, forcefully killing the demon god's soul. However, Xiaofan was still clueless about the concept of saber intent godly. Moreover, the azure-robed immortal did not say much about it. Xiaofan had to ask a powerful saber master when he returned to the human world. In terms of demonic power, Xiaofan was flourishing. Seriously speaking, Xiaofan's true qi cultivation level was considered a mess in the human world of demon heroes. Before he expanded his meridians, if he did not use the great accomplishment stage saber intent and only relied on his true qi cultivation level, Xiaofan would not even be able to defeat an ordinary ancient giant. However, in terms of demonic power, the demon the arch palm on his left arm had awakened 600,000 demon meridians. The capacity of each demon meridian was 150 times that of an ordinary demon emperor. He had embedded and refined 13 demon emperor crystals. Other than the demon the arch, Xiaofan was invincible among the demon clans in this plane. Even the alluring demon emperor, who was known as the strongest ultimate variant demon emperor, would not be a match for Xiaofan even if it was at its peak. Just by using the demon the arch palm, Xiaofan could unleash a power of 9 billion cauldrons without using any demonic techniques. It could shatter mountains and crush armies. If I use demonic power and demonic techniques, I'm afraid I can sweep away all the ancient giants of demon heroes. I wonder if I can fight against them. Xiaofan was very confident. This time, the demon hero pagoda master used me to threaten and lure me into the demon metropolis to assassinate Yan Lang. He definitely won't expect that I, Xiaofan, will come back alive one day. In order to prevent him from hiding his bow after he has served his purpose, I have to keep a trump card. Xiaofan smiled faintly. Then, the 13th demon emperor crystal on the palm of the demon the arch left arm flashed with brilliance. Xiaofan's mental fluctuation fused into the 13th demon emperor crystal, the 13th demon emperor crystal. In the despair demon compound. The autumn wind was bleak. Withered leaves covered the ground. At this moment, Yan Lang stood in the courtyard with a face full of despair and fear. He stared blankly at a crooked tree in the courtyard. Damn it! Damn the silver mask demon emperor! He actually imprisoned himself in a piece of demon emperor crystal. Damn it! Yan Lang's tone was full of resentment. And, he even, took away the treasure in my dantian. He took it away. That treasure had accompanied me for tens of thousands of years. It was the foundation of my life in the demon metropolis. It made it impossible for any demon race to lock onto my true location and kill me. But now, Yan Lang was very afraid. Without the protection of thousands of ancient formations, he was in imminent danger in the demon metropolis. He could be eaten and swallowed by a powerful demon emperor at any time. Oh no! That silver mask demon emperor. He won't eat me, right? Yan Lang's entire body was paralyzed with fear, and his teeth were chattering. This is bad, this is bad. At this moment, ha 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 ha. Master Yan Lang, are you used to staying here? Ha ha ha. Xiaofan's mental fluctuation condensed into a physical form and appeared in the despair demon compound. He smiled at Yan Lang. Master, you don't look good. Why, are you afraid? What? Silver mask. You evil creature. Yan Lang roared angrily. As soon as he finished speaking, he slapped Xiaofan with his palm. The power of his palm could topple mountains and overturn seas. However, Xiaofan's mental fluctuation condensed into a physical form and appeared in the despair demon compound. Yan Lang's true qi attack naturally had no effect on him. Enough, Master Yan Lang. You are already a prisoner. Don't resist anymore. It's useless, do you know? Xiaofan sneered. Moreover, Master Yan Lang, your alchemy is outstanding, but your true qi cultivation. Ha ha ha, you can't even withstand a single blow. Do you understand? You can't even withstand a single blow. If I want to kill you, a single thought is enough. You. Yan Lang trembled as he looked at Xiaofan. Silver mask, what exactly do you want? If I say that I want to eat you and occupy your body, I wonder if you will be afraid? Ha 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 ha. I'm afraid that in the demon metropolis, there are many demons who want to eat Master's brain, right? Ah ha 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 ha. Xiaofan deliberately scared Yen Lang. No. As expected, Yen Lang burst out with a terrified wail and retreated. Silver Mask. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. What do you want? I can refine all kinds of treasured medicine for you, how about it? As long as you don't eat me, I am willing to serve you for the rest of my life and refine any elixir you want for you. Ha ha ha. Master, I'm just joking. Xiaofan couldn't help but laugh again. Forget it, I won't make fun of you anymore. I'm not the Silver Mask Demon Emperor. I'm also a human like you, and I'm also a demon hero. Demon hero Xiaofan. This time, I was ordered to come to the demon metropolis to assassinate you, Master. Ha ha ha. Master, you never thought of this, right? Xiaofan looked at Yen Lang mockingly and a trace of true qi was released. True qi? This is true qi. Yen Lang was horrified. Xiaofan. I've heard of this name before. This is a super genius of the human race recently. He's a newcomer among the demon heroes, but he has endless potential. He's known as a genius of the human race that only appears once in 10,000 years. Even at such a young age, he already has a place on the demon hero ranking. The name Xiaofan is also mentioned by some demons in the demon metropolis. I didn't expect it to be you. But why do you have the skills of the demon race? Master, you don't have to ask about these things. Xiaofan sneered. Yen Lang, you're the most shameful traitor in the history of the human race. You should know what they'll do to you if I hand you over to the demon hero pagoda. I'm afraid that they'll skin you, pull out your tendons, and cook you in a pot of oil. Hearing this, Yen Lang's face turned pale. He felt that his life was coming to an end. His knees softened and he knelt on the ground. Xiaofan. Xiaofan, I beg you, don't hand me over to the demon hero pagoda. You can't. Please let me go, don't hand you over to the demon hero pagoda. Then how about throwing you back to the demon metropolis? I don't know if those demons will eat you or not. After sucking your brain, they'll be able to master your divine ability to concoct medicine. I think there will be many demons who can't wait to eat you, right? Xiaofan teased. No. You can't. Yen Lang was like a virgin girl who was surrounded by dozens of burly men. There was no longer a trace of blood on his face. His willpower had completely collapsed. Xiaofan, please let me live. I beg you, please let me live. Don't hand me over to those demons and don't hand me over to the demon hero pagoda, it's not impossible for me to let you go. Xiaofan looked at Yen Lang. However, from today onwards, you'll be my slave. It's fine as long as you work for me and help me concoct all kinds of pills. If you disobey me. I don't need to hand you over to the demons or the demon hero pagoda. I, Xiaofan, want you to be in a life and death situation. While speaking, Xiaohan's eyes flashed with a trace of coldness and ruthlessness. Yes, I promise you. Xiaofan, I'll be your slave. I promise you, as long as you give me a chance to live, I'll be your slave. Yen Lang hurriedly said. It seemed like he was also a coward who was afraid of death. Oh? You're still calling me Xiaofan? Xiaofan said coldly. No. Master. From today onwards, you're my Yen Lang's master. Yen Lang hurriedly corrected himself. Demon hero pagoda master. Xiaohan's eyes rolled a few times. I will lie and say that darling Yen has already developed a batch of precious medicine to create a demon emperor. However, he is being controlled by me and is being hidden in a secret place. I would like to see if the pagoda master still dares to make a move against me in broad daylight because he is afraid of harming the innocent. You're known as the most outstanding alchemist in many planes. You're also of some use to me. That's why I've spared your life. Xiaofan smiled disdainfully. Yes, yes. Thank you for your mercy, master. Yen Lang repeatedly expressed his gratitude. For some unknown reason, Xiaofan's aura had undergone a slight change. His entire being had become somewhat ruthless, and his occasional words and actions were filled with killing intent. There was a formless aura around him that could suck away one's soul. Chapter 377. The Demon Capital. At this moment, the demon capital was extremely cold and cheerless. In fact, there was even a smell of ruin. Every inch of space still had the lingering smell of the disaster. On every floor of the demon metropolis, a large number of buildings collapsed. The earth's crust was deformed and cracked. Ruins could be seen everywhere. The third level of the demon capital. In the collapsed five-colored demon palace. The nine-headed demon emperor, led by Great Emperor Woodfern, was exasperated. However, their expressions were filled with fear and trepidation, as if they were birds startled by the mere twang of a bowstring. It's too terrifying. That silver mask demon emperor, actually devoured Lord Demon God's will, and even transformed. After it transformed, it's as strong as a deity. It can almost destroy our plane. It can trample on the rules and order wantonly. Zhangxiu Demon Emperor was actually killed by it in an instant. It's definitely not the power of our plane. It's too evil. It makes us feel despair. Complete despair. Even the aftermath of that power has killed countless demon emperors. A demon emperor muttered incessantly. He looked like a young girl who had just been ravaged by hundreds of burly men in turn. Shut up. Great Emperor Woodfern scolded. Its expression had also become extremely hideous and twisted. He paused for a moment, then said with a trembling voice. How many demon emperors did we lose? Great Emperor Woodfern, we've truly suffered a calamity this time. Another great emperor's voice was hoarse and he sounded like he was about to cry. Great Emperor Woodfern, there's no need to mention the ordinary demon emperor bloodline. Many of them died during Grandmaster Yen Lang's birthday celebration. After this disaster, more than half of our mutated demon emperors have been killed. More than half. Great Emperor Woodfern cried out in shock. Yes, Great Emperor Woodfern has definitely lost more than half of his troops. Especially the ultimate variant demon emperors. We've lost hundreds of them. We've really suffered a great loss. This loss is immeasurable, the other martial monarch immediately added. Also, Grandmaster Yen Lang has been kidnapped. That's one disaster after another. In recent years, Great Master Yen Lang's concoction skills have become more and more refined. He can almost create a large number of ultimate variant demon emperors. Originally, we all expected that in the next 100 years, the number of ultimate variant demon emperors in our demon capital would exceed 10,000. Definitely over 10,000. Although the ultimate mutated demon emperor created by the precious medicine refined by Master Yen Lang was not as powerful as the ultimate mutated demon emperor with a noble bloodline, it could at least resist some of the powerhouses of the human clan. Tens of thousands of ultimate mutant demon emperors formed an army. The human demons could be destroyed in the blink of an eye. It was only a matter of time before the Wuxia pagoda was flattened. But now, all the plans have come to naught. Roar! Grand Emperor Woodfern let out a heart-wrenching howl, his teeth clenched, and every word he spoke was filled with rage and unwillingness. Silver Mask Demon Emperor! You evil creature! destroying our foundation. The demons of this plane were miserable. Tragic. Tragic. It should be noted that the potential and achievements of any demon race were closely related to their bloodline and genes. For example, human cultivators might not have much talent, but if they cultivated diligently and had a bit of luck, there was still a chance that they could become a great cultivator. But the demon race was different. The demon race depended on their bloodline and genes. Hard work and luck didn't matter. The demon race depended on their innate conditions. Those with poor bloodline and genes couldn't break through the shackles of their genes no matter how much they cultivated or how much demonic chi they absorbed. As a result, there were exactly 1,000 ultimate variant demon emperors in this plane. And now, they'd lost hundreds of them. One dead meant one less. Originally, with Yen Lang's existence, they could create more ultimate variant demon emperors. But now, even Yen Lang had been kidnapped. What do we do now, Grand Emperor Woodfern? One of the great emperors asked, his heart trembling. The demon capital is on the verge of collapse. If the human clan demons attack, we won't be able to hold them off. We will be completely annihilated by the human race. The human race has millions of heroes, powerhouses of the past, as well as the Council of Elders and the Pagoda Master whose battle prowess is on par with you. Great Emperor Woodfern, we are in danger. The balance of power between the demon race and the human clan has been broken once again. We're weak. We're definitely at a disadvantage. That's right, Grand Emperor Woodfern. If we don't think of a countermeasure soon, the human clan will definitely send their army to our borders once they learn of the situation in the demon capital. Several of the great emperors barked anxiously. Silence. Everyone, quiet down. Grand Emperor Woodfern took control of the situation. A while later, the situation is indeed very dangerous. Grand Emperor Woodfern nodded slightly. Based on the current situation, the human clan demons do indeed have the strength to annihilate us. Furthermore, the greater danger is the mysterious Silver Mask Demon Emperor. When Grand Emperor Woodfern mentioned the Silver Mask Demon Emperor once again, the other 8 great emperors held their breaths. They didn't even dare to breathe loudly. The secret treasure in the Silver Mask Demon Emperor's body is too powerful. It can actually draw upon the power of the demon world and transform. If it wants to destroy us, it'll only take a single thought. Once the Silver Mask Demon Emperor returns, we'll be in grave danger. We might even have no choice but to submit to it. Grand Emperor Woodfern's majestic body was trembling. Grand Emperor Woodfern, you're saying that the Silver Mask Demon Emperor is drawing upon the power of the demon world? One of the great emperors sucked in a breath of cold air. It's definitely the power of the demon world. It might even be the power of one of the great emperors in the demon world. However, given the strength of the Silver Mask Demon Emperor's body, he can't use such destructive power frequently. Otherwise, his body will explode. He definitely can't endure such destructive power for a long period of time. However, we have to be wary of this fellow. All of a sudden, Grand Emperor Woodfern licked his lips with a bloody, barbed tongue. His eyes flashed with a strange light. If we can capture the Silver Mask Demon Emperor and extract the demonic chi in his body, we'll be able to obtain his secrets. Then, the situation will be reversed. We'll be able to turn the tide. Capture the Silver Mask Demon Emperor? Great Emperor Woodfern, your thoughts are too crazy. Even now, you're still thinking of obtaining the secrets of the Silver Mask Demon Emperor. Crazy. This is too crazy. The other great emperors felt their hearts palpitating. Humph. Master Yen Lang is still in the hands of that bastard. For the future of the demon capital, we have no choice but to capture the Silver Mask Demon Emperor and rescue Master Yen Lang. Grand Emperor Woodfern roared. The other great emperors were speechless. After a short pause, Grand Emperor Woodfern said thoughtfully. Of course, given our current strength, it's indeed very difficult for us to deal with the Silver Mask Demon Emperor while worrying about the demon heroes of the human race. Thus, we can only send a message to our brethren in the other planes and ask them to help us. What? Grand Emperor Woodfern's words shocked the other 8 great emperors. Silence. An eerie silence. After a few hundred breaths, one of the great emperors finally spoke up in a trembling voice. Grand Emperor Woodfern, you're being a little too rash. I'm afraid it's inappropriate to ask the demons of the other planes to come to our plane. There's nothing inappropriate about it. Grand Emperor Woodfern was flustered and exasperated. The current situation is very delicate. Paper can't wrap fire. There's no way the humans don't know what's happening in the demon capital. It's only a matter of time before the humans find out about our disaster. Once they attack, how are we supposed to defend ourselves? How are we supposed to fight against the demon heroes of the human race? 100 of them are more than enough to kill us. Not to mention the demon hero elders and the demon hero pagoda master. Now that the situation is dire, we can only send a distress signal and ask the demons of the other planes to come over. Furthermore, we can use the demons of the other planes to capture the Silver Mask Demon Emperor. It's not impossible for us to fish in troubled waters and gain some benefits from the chaos. Sigh, I can't help but feel helpless with this plan. Although we're inviting a wolf into our house, it's still better than being killed by the humans, right? Moreover, we still don't know who the real wolf is. The other 8 martial monarchs nodded slightly after hearing this. Yes, if they didn't receive reinforcements, the demons of this plane would be wiped out in a short period of time. As a result, the demons of this plane would no longer exist, and the humans would be the sole hegemon of this plane. But one of the great emperors hesitated. Emperor Woodfern, in this world, other than the supreme plane of existence known as the upper world, there are many other ordinary planes that are as numerous as the sands of eternity. Our plane is just a drop in the ocean among the many ordinary planes. In the countless dimensions, there are many of the same kind of demons. In fact, there are even some dimensions where the demon race has dominated and the human race has been exterminated. Yes, there are demons that are weaker than us in other planes, and there are also demons that are stronger than us. Grand Emperor Woodfern nodded. However, Grand Emperor Woodfern, the distance between any plane of existence and another plane of existence is extremely great. Between the adjacent planes was a vast and boundless universe. The universe was filled with all kinds of energy, such as peck wind, black thunder, blue fire, sky fire, black hole, space fragments, meteorite flows. Ordinary demons and humans with slightly lower realms did not dare to fly in the vast universe. Furthermore, it's impossible to teleport in an unstable space. Therefore, there are 2 problems with traveling from one plane of existence to another. First, the distance is too great. Second, there's a high chance of death during the flight. Grand Emperor Woodfern, even if you send out a distress signal, there's a chance that the demons of other planes won't take the risk to fly to our plane. It's too easy to get lost and die. It's also easy to get the wrong direction while flying in space, and the chances of death are very, very high. Yes, your worries are reasonable. Grand Emperor Woodfern nodded. However, demon emperors like us can still resist the chaotic energy flows of the universe, such as peck winds, black holes, meteor flows, and so on. When I send out the distress signal, I'll send out the coordinates of our plane of existence. With the coordinates, the chances of getting lost in space will be greatly reduced. Grand Emperor Woodfern paused for a moment, then laughed coldly. I'll use the secrets of the Silver Mask Demon Emperor as bait to lure high-level demons from other planes to come here. I believe that many high-level demons will be willing to take the risk and fly over from other planes. Humph. This is also a gamble. If we're lucky, those high-level demons will become our pawns. They'll help us wipe out the demon heroes of this plane of existence, and they might even help us capture the Silver Mask Demon Emperor. Of course, if we're unlucky, our plane of existence will be invaded and taken over by the high-level demons of other planes. Let's say it's half and half. Half and half. But if we don't do this, we'll lose everything. We'll all die at the hands of those damned demon hero pagoda. Dozens of breaths later, since that's the case, Grand Emperor Woodfern, we'll follow your plan and send out the message. We'll use the Silver Mask Demon Emperor as bait to lure high-level demons from other planes over. The other 8 great emperors all agreed to Grand Emperor Woodfern's plan. It just so happens that I have a demonic communication technique. Once I use it, with our plane as the center, the message will spread to all corners of the universe. There will definitely be many demonic brethren in other planes who will receive the message at the same time. No matter what, the humans of our plane of existence are facing a calamity. Ha 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 ha. Using the strength of the high-level demons of other planes to wipe out the humans of our plane of existence is far too simple. Ha ha ha. Right, right, right. Grand Emperor Woodfern, those that can fly over must be demon emperors from other planes of existence. With more demon emperors, it'll be easy for them to flatten our demon hero pagoda. Humans, tremble. Calamity is upon us. Chapter 378. Xiaofan's 13th Demon Emperor Crystal. Inside the Demon Compound of Despair. This. Master, what sect are you from in the 4 regions of the human race? Yan Lang nagged beside Xiaofan. Xiaofan smiled faintly and shook his head. This Yan Lang was indeed a character in the past. When he was young, he was talented and passed a strict selection to become a demon hero. After entering the demon metropolis, he held power in his hands. But in the face of life and death, he was very cowardly. It was not an exaggeration to say that he was afraid of death. The more afraid a person was of death, the easier it was to control him. Southern Region, Beacon Fire Empire, Cloud Sect. Have you heard of it? Xiaofan said casually. Oh? Cloud Sect? I've heard of it, I've heard of it. Master, I'm from the Eastern Region, but I've also heard of the Cloud Sect. The sect master of the Cloud Sect is called Cloud Sect, and he's also a genius. Yan Lang kept trying to curry favor. Alright, enough with the idle talk. Xiaofan waved his hand impatiently. Then, he stared at Yan Lang with a hint of coldness in his eyes. Yan Lang, there's something I want to ask you. For some reason, Yan Lang felt that Xiaofan's every move had a fierce and domineering temperament. When Xiaofan glared at him, his body trembled in fear. He knew very well that Xiaofan was extremely powerful, and his methods were extremely cruel. That's right. Ordinary demon heroes, even the Tower Master of the demon hero world, would definitely not dare to go to the demon metropolis alone and cause trouble under the demon emperor's nose. But Xiaofan dared. Moreover, he kidnapped him and escaped unscathed. Too monstrous. Besides, Yan Lang had witnessed Xiaofan slaughtering quite a few ultimate mutant demon emperors in the ceremony with his own eyes. His potential was unfathomable. Therefore, Yan Lang absolutely did not dare to resist Xiaofan. He said submissively. Master, what do you want to ask me? Have you refined a slow-acting poison called heart-eroding bone pill? This pill is colorless and tasteless, and after taking it, one will only have 3 years of life left? Xiaofan said coldly. Oh? Heart-eroding bone pill? Yan Lang was stunned, but then he revealed a proud expression. Yes, this is a small poison that I casually refined in the past. Not worth mentioning, not worth mentioning. However, this little thing wasn't something that an ordinary alchemist could refine. It wouldn't be a problem for him to poison an expanding aperture realm pinnacle cultivator to death. Ha ha ha. Unless one's true chi cultivation has reached the talisman transformation stage, only then would it be possible for one to dissolve the poison by themselves. Ha ha ha. If one is below the talisman transformation stage and consumes this heart corrosion bone pill, without the antidote that I personally refined, one would undoubtedly die. No one in this world can save me. Ha ha ha. Yan Lang was extremely narcissistic. Xiaofan glared at him, and Yan Lang immediately shut his mouth. Yan Lang, I'll give you 3 days to refine the antidote for this rotting heart bone eroding pill. Otherwise, I'll make you wish you were dead. Yes, as long as Master gives me the ingredients to refine the antidote, I will refine the antidote in 1 day. I only need 1 day. Yan Lang was trembling in fear. Xiaofan heaved a sigh of relief. His eyes became a little absent-minded as he murmured. Yunrong. I finally got the antidote for you. Where are you now? There was still more than a year before the poison in Xiao Yunrong's body flared up. Before Xiaofan came to the demon metropolis, the demon hero pagoda's tower master had already promised Xiaofan to find the missing Xiao Yunrong for him. Moreover, when he rescued Shengguan Wudi, Xiaofan had also mentioned this matter to Shengguan Wudi. Presumably, now that Xiaofan had returned to the demon hero pagoda, he might be able to see Xiao Yunrong. There's no time to lose. I'll return to the demon hero pagoda now. I'll give you the ingredients to refine the rotting heart bone eroding pill as soon as possible. With a thought, Xiaofan's body rippled and was about to disappear from the demon compound of despair. Master, you must not hand me over to the people of the demon hero pagoda. Yan Lang hurriedly emphasized. Xiaofan's mental energy fluctuation was withdrawn from the demon compound of despair. Xiaofan stabilized his body and looked into the distance. Millions of miles away was the human race's demon hero fort. Passing through the stronghold meant that Xiaofan had officially returned to the human race's territory. I also miss the sect master, my senior brothers, and my 2 wives. I also hope that Yunrong will no longer wander the world and can be found. All right. I, Xiaofan, will return now. Xiaofan's eyes were also filled with longing. In the next moment, swoosh, Xiaofan released the demonic power in the demon emperor's palm on his left arm and used it to move like an illusion. He turned into a series of afterimages and flew 1,000,000 miles away. The last line of defense of the human race adjacent to the demon metropolis. The stronghold. The stronghold floated in the air. It was boundless and its entire body was dark. On the surface of the stronghold, there were many formations. In the depths of these formations, there were the world's most perfect spirit stones, mineral veins, and gems, transmitting energy. Without a doubt, just a little bit of the formation would be enough to kill all living beings and exterminate demons to defend the Tao. For thousands of years, even the demons of the demon metropolis did not dare to invade. Occasionally, some demons would try to provoke the dignity of the stronghold and disguise themselves in order to pass through the stronghold. However, all of them ended up in a miserable state and were refined into ashes by the formation on the spot. Bronze patterns could be seen on the surface of the fortress, and there were even layers of protruding ancient divine dragon bones, making the fortress look extremely ferocious, like a primordial beast that was choosing its prey to devour. However, from time to time, there would be true chi flying in and out. The human race's demons looked vigilant and ready to fight. Not long ago, the ancient giant, Shengguan Wudi, who had been imprisoned in the stronghold, was actually kidnapped by a few demon emperors on the way back to the demon hero pagoda. This made the human race's ancient giant, who was guarding the stronghold, furious. Now, the number of human demons stationed in this stronghold had obviously increased. Inside a palace in the stronghold, a middle-aged man dressed in white sat on top of the palace. His black hair was draped over his shoulders, and he looked cultured and elegant. He looked like a wealthy young master of the secular world. Strands of divine light poured down from the top of his head. It was as if there were stars and a silver moon above his head. Every time he moved, the heavens would shine with light. This person was the human race's ancient giant, Ling Qianqiu, who was guarding this stronghold. He was a big shot who could move mountains and fill seas with a wave of his hand. When he was angry, he could turn mountains and rivers into ashes. On the left and right sides of the palace sat dozens of demons. Each of them had an extraordinary temperament, and their true qi fluctuated like a surging river. Ha ha ha. Suddenly, Ling Qianqiu laughed loudly. His face was glowing, as if he was proud of his success. I didn't expect that my big brother Shengguan Wudi would have a fortuitous encounter and dispel the evil demonic qi that had been haunting him for 1,000 years. Ha ha ha. Big brother Shengguan Wudi has restored his glory. He has recovered the invincible strength of the past. In a month's time, in the North region, the East region, and the Great Wilderness, he killed 9 ultimate variant demon emperors in succession and showed off his skills. Ha ha ha. The return of Senior Shengguan is really a great blessing for our human race's demon world. It is also a blessing for the common people in the world. Immediately, the demons in the palace all laughed and said. A young demon hero suddenly said. Senior Leng, I don't know what fortuitous encounter Senior Shengguan had. He was kidnapped by those demon emperors and sent to the demon metropolis. Could it be that Senior Shengguan had obtained some fortuitous encounter in the demon metropolis? I heard that the most shameful traitor in the history of our human race, the alchemist Yan Lang, lived in the demon metropolis all year round. I don't know if this matter has anything to do with Yan Lang. Don't make wild guesses about the key to this matter. With my friendship with Big Brother Shengguan, he didn't say anything about this matter and asked me not to ask more. I think it's inconvenient for Big Brother Shengguan to say this matter. Ling Qianqiu said with slight displeasure. The young demon quickly changed his words. Yes, Senior Leng. Senior Leng, the return of Senior Shengguan must be a sign that the luck of our human race is beginning to flourish. This is a good sign. Maybe it won't be long before we can march straight into the demon metropolis and kill all the demons in this world. Ha ha ha. Yes, this is a good sign. The group of demons all laughed. The matter of attacking the demon metropolis also needs to be decided by the higher-ups of the Demon Hero Tower. However, it is said that Yan Lang has created a large number of mutated demon emperors in the demon metropolis. It is unwise to attack rashly. Ling Qianqiu said lightly. Suddenly. There is a wave of demonic aura. Ling Qianqiu frowned and stood up. In the palace, a few demons immediately said. Senior Leng, let's go out and take a look. Swish, a wave of demonic aura came from thousands of miles away. After the demonic aura condensed, Xiaofan's figure appeared. Ha ha ha. We've finally arrived at the human fortress. Xiaofan raised his head and looked at the steel castle floating in the air. He couldn't help but feel a sense of familiarity in his heart. At this moment, stop. How dare you? How dare you trespass into the Demon Hero Fortress? You came from the direction of the Demon Metropolis. Are you a spy of the demon race? Whoosh 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 whoosh. The sound of something piercing through the air resounded in the sky. It was extremely violent. Suddenly, there were experts with profound cultivation of Jin Qi flying out from the fort and landing around Xiaofan. It was not just one, there were 5 of them. All of them were experts with powerful Jin Qi. They surrounded Xiaofan. Oh. They are all demons of the expanded point realm. Xiaofan raised his head and glanced at the 5 people. He immediately activated the spirit turtle true qi and sealed the demonic aura on the left arm of the demon emperor. He smiled innocently. Ha ha ha. We are on the same side. On the same side? The 5 fiends were confused when they saw Xiaofan. Because when they used their true chi to scan Xiaofan, they found that there was not a trace of demonic aura on Xiaofan. He was a pure human. Wait! A man in green clothes with a sword on his back stepped out and stared at Xiaofan. He was focused and calm. His whole body shone with sword chi. There was a wave of demonic aura just now. I heard that the traitor, Brother Yen, can concoct a medicine that can block off demonic aura. We will not be able to detect it after the demon race takes it. However, don't think you can fool us. This fortress is guarded by our ancient giant, Senior Leng Qianxiu. Why don't you follow us back to the fortress first? Don't act recklessly, or else, you will die. Ha 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 ha, you are making a mountain out of a molehill. Xiaofan burst into laughter. You are all demons. I am also a demon. You're also a chivalrous hero? The chivalrous heroes were all stunned. I am Xiaofan. I am ranked 1650 on the demon ranking. Ha ha ha, you are all at the expanded point realm. However, your ranking on the demon ranking might not be higher than mine. Xiaofan laughed casually. As soon as he said that, the 5 heroes were all dumbfounded. Xiaofan. You are really Xiaofan? The man in green clothes with a sword on his back swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Of course I am Xiaofan. However, my demon hero token is not with me. But I don't need to lie, right? Xiaofan laughed. How dare you? How dare you? Why don't you pretend to be someone else? How dare you pretend to be Xiaofan? One of the demons in white clothes said angrily. Xiaofan died a long time ago. A few days ago, the higher-ups of the Wuxia Tower had just issued an obituary, saying that an unprecedented Wuxia hero, young Xiaofan, had been born in the most brutal Wuxia trials in the history of the Wuxia world in our world. Young Xiaofan rose like a comet. In less than 3 years after becoming a demon hero, he was ranked 1650th on the demon ranking. He was like the sun in the sky, and his luck was like a rainbow. However, when things reach an extreme, they will fall. Young demon hero Xiaofan was killed by the Silver Mask Demon Emperor. His brain was sucked and his body was taken over. From then on, the demon hero with the most potential in the history of the human race died at an early age. Huh? My brain was sucked by the Silver Mask Demon Emperor and I died? Xiaofan was dumbfounded. Chapter 379. Oh. This. The Demon Hero Tower actually said that I, Xiaofan, am dead? Xiaofan was completely dumbfounded. He had only been in the demon metropolis for a few months, and the news of his death had already been announced to the world. What was the intention of the higher-ups of the Demon Hero Tower? Thief! No matter where you come from, you actually dared to pretend to be the young demon hero Xiaofan. This is a heinous crime. The green-clothed sword cultivator's words were sharp and aggressive. The young demon hero Xiaofan had killed Demon Emperor Qinglin and annihilated Demon Emperor Azure Dragon. To the common people of the human race, it could be said that he had made outstanding contributions. He was still young, but he wasn't afraid of the demon clan. In fact, he even fought with the notorious Silver Mask Demon Emperor, to kill the demons and get rid of the evil for the people. Although he died in the hands of the Silver Mask Demon Emperor, in the end, his actions have already become the symbol of the demon clan. Monument. Eternal glory, enough. Xiaofan was also annoyed when he heard this guy nagging about him as if he was dead. I, Xiaofan, am not dead. This news of my death was deliberately released by the higher-ups of the Demon Hero Tower to hide it from the world. Hide it from the world? One of the demon heroes was stunned. Yes, because. Xiaofan said enigmatically. I, Xiaofan, was ordered to go to the demon metropolis to complete a shocking mission. This mission must be extremely confidential. Yes, do you understand? What mission? The green-clothed sword cultivator raised his eyebrows. Ha ha ha. This. Everyone, with your status, you don't have to ask about this kind of mission. To put it bluntly, your ranking on the demon hero ranking is too low. You don't have the authority to know the details of this mission, understand? Xiaofan smiled casually and threatened them. You. The 5 demon heroes were shocked and angry at the same time. At this moment, whoosh 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 whoosh, in the stronghold, flowing light overflowed in all directions. Rays of true chi light rippled out one after another. In an instant, densely packed figures floated in the sky. They were all demon heroes. Hundreds and thousands of demon heroes flew out of the fortress and stared at Xiaofan. Suddenly, a few of them blurted out. Xiaofan. It really was Xiaofan. Xiaofan, the youth from the Cloud sect of the southern region. His performance in the Hex Hero preliminaries was very outstanding. I once recorded the video through the Magic Eye Stone and witnessed the whole process of Xiaofan in the competition. Yes. It was Xiaofan. I can't be wrong. There's no mistaking it. Yes, it's Xiaofan. I've seen him in person. Once in the Wuxia Tower, I saw Xiaofan from afar. It was him. His expression is just like that. There's a little bit of arrogance, a little bit of arrogance. A female demon dressed in colorful clothes looked at Xiaofan with stars in her eyes. Young hero, handsome and elegant, however, according to the obituary published by the higher-ups of the Wuxia Pagoda, Xiaofan died in the hands of the Silver Mask Demon Emperor. His brain was sucked dry and the Silver Mask Demon Emperor took over Xiaofan's body. This guy in front of me might be the Silver Mask Demon Emperor in disguise. No way. Would the Silver Mask Demon Emperor dare to barge into the fortress? How many times has it mutated? For a moment, there were all kinds of discussions around the fortress. Many demon warriors were looking at Xiaofan curiously. Oh. Xiaofan. Suddenly, a faintly discernible voice rang out from within the fortress. This voice was light and gentle, giving off a feeling as though one was bathing in the wind. However, it contained an unparalleled majesty. Senior Leng. All the demon warriors present were silent, restrained their aura, and greeted him respectfully. An ancient giant? The ancient giant who guards this fortress? Xiaofan's heart skipped a beat. At the next moment, swoosh, auspicious clouds and auspicious vapors rose, sandalwood incense curled up in spirals, and jade-like runes fell in front of Xiaofan. In an instant, these runes swam like tadpoles, forming an array formation about half a mu in size. There was a faint power of space. A small teleportation formation? Xiaofan nodded slightly. Martial artists who cultivated vital qi could expand their acupoints at the 6th stage, transform their vital qi into true talismans at the 7th stage, and form all kinds of formations with the 8th stage. However, for the ancient giant who guarded the fortress, setting up a simple teleportation formation was simply a matter of breathing. Little friend, you say you are Xiaofan? But as far as I know, the young demon Xiaofan has already been sacrificed. Forget it, come see me. I will negotiate with you face to face. Don't worry, if you are not a demon, I promise I will not harm you. Alright. Xiaofan did not mind and directly stepped into the small teleportation formation. The fortress. In a warm little house. Wooden table, bamboo chair, bookcase, and fragrant tea. The ancient giant who guarded the fortress, Ling Qianxiu, sat opposite Xiaofan. He carefully observed Xiaofan, and soon, his eyes were filled with shock. As for Xiaofan, he casually smiled and looked at Ling Qianxiu. His eyes did not dodge or flatter, and his state of mind was as calm as still water. Xiaofan allowed Leng Qianqiu's spiritual force to scan his body. The spiritual force of an ancient giant was extremely powerful. It was as vast as the abyss, able to observe people down to the smallest detail, and able to lock one's soul for thousands of miles. As long as this ancient giant used his spiritual force slightly, he could even clearly see the pores, cells, meridians, and blood vessels in Xiaofan's body. It was as clear as a candle flame, like looking at the lines of a palm. Xiaofan smiled without saying a word. Let him see. Before entering the demon metropolis, although there were only a few cracks on the demon egg in Xiaofan's heart, existences with slightly higher cultivation could still detect the demonic qi in Xiaofan's body. For example, Wu Bai, and even Xiao Mingchu could slightly peek at Xiaofan's secrets. Not to mention the ancient giants and the tower masters who were the leaders of the human race. But now, on the demon egg, countless seals had collapsed and broken. There were thousands of cracks on the surface of the eggshell. It was a complete mess, but now there was a barrier like the 10,000 Immortals formation. 10,000 Immortals formation. A total of 10,000 ancient formations. Every ancient formation was an immortal formation. Profound and mysterious. It contained all kinds of energy. Inescapable net, yin and yang changing, 5 elements flashing. Although this 10,000 Immortals formation was only set up by a magic treasure and could only display the tip of the iceberg of this immortal technique, it was still not something that ordinary martial artists could see through. Leng Qianqiu's spiritual force directly swept into Xiaofan's heart. Then, his spiritual force was lost in the layers of immortal formations. You alone can't see through these formations and see my heart. Xiaofan smiled in his heart. Once my cultivation reaches the talisman formation realm, I will be able to gather all kinds of treasured qi from beyond the heavens and personally set up the 10,000 Immortals formation. The power and wonders of that 10,000 Immortals formation will surpass this round golden ball magic treasure. Leng Qianqiu was stunned for more than 10 breaths. Then, he swept his spiritual force towards Xiaofan's left arm. Xiaofan used all his spirit turtle true qi to wrap around the demon sovereign's palm tattoo on his left arm. However, the spirit turtle true qi's ability to conceal the demon sovereign's palm was far inferior to the 10,000 Immortals formation near the heart. Leng Qianqiu, a great figure throughout the ages, could still see some clues about Xiaofan's left arm. Of course, he could only see the demon sovereign's aura on Xiaofan's left arm, but it was impossible for him to distinguish the strength of the demon sovereign's palm. He has opened 50 true acupoints. In terms of true qi cultivation, he is only at the peak of the 5th level. He hasn't expanded his acupoints yet. His physical body is as strong as the ocean. Each of his muscles is as heavy as a mountain. Just the strength of his physical body alone is enough to sweep through a large number of people on the demon hero ranking. If I'm not mistaken, his left arm has indeed refined a demon sovereign's palm. That's right. I've heard of that young man, Xiaofan. He possesses some techniques of the demon race. That is his strongest trump card. Leng Qianqiu nodded slowly and said solemnly. Young man, there is indeed no demon qi in your body. There is no demon qi in your 5 viscera and 6 bowels, pores, bones, and meridians. Everything is crystal clear. Moreover, you have a great fortuitous encounter. There is actually a fluctuation of immortal qi near your heart. This fluctuation of immortal qi is awe-inspiring and righteous. It is very unlikely for it to appear in the body of a demon race. Could it be that you are really Xiaofan? Your true qi cultivation is weak, your physical body is incomparably strong, and you possess the techniques of the demon race. These are the 3 characteristics of that young man, Xiaofan. You match all of them. Ha ha ha. Senior Leng, of course I am the real Xiaofan. If I was a spy of the demon race, why would I come here to die knowing that you, the ancient magnate, is guarding the stronghold. Xiaofan said with a smile. The trip to the demon metropolis not only increased Xiaofan's combat strength, but his mentality had also undergone a transformation. Now, even when facing an existence as powerful as the ancient magnate, Xiaofan was able to be neither servile nor overbearing. This made Leng Qianqiu even more amazed. TSK. Young man, your mentality. With your cultivation, you are actually able to maintain your poise and your heart is as calm as water in front of me. It is truly rare. Senior Leng, this junior's true qi cultivation is indeed weak. However, after this trip to the demon metropolis, I have accumulated a lot of true qi. It will only take a day for me to expand my acupoint. After returning to the demon hero pagoda, I will find a spirit room and directly break through the 51st true acupoint. I also want to see how many times I can expand my acupoint. Yes. You have accumulated enough. It is completely enough. Leng Qianqiu also sighed. You can talk and laugh freely in front of me. This tempering of your mentality is already pure and untainted. Once you expand your acupoint, I am afraid it will shock the entire demon hero world. Xiaohan. Is it really Xiaohan? Right at this moment, Leng Qianqiu's expression slightly changed. His expression became somewhat respectful as he took out a demon hero token from his bosom. Leng Qianqiu held the demon hero token in his hand and remained silent. However, his expression was focused. It was obvious that he was communicating with the other demon heroes through the spirit room. Oh. To be able to make Leng Qianqiu so polite and respectful. Could it be that the higher-ups of the demon hero pagoda are communicating with him? Xiaohan was also puzzled. After dozens of breaths, Leng Qianqiu kept the demon hero token and smiled. Young man, since you say that you are Xiaohan, then please stay in this fortress for a while. I have an elder brother who is also on the demon hero ranking. He is a famous ancient magnate. His combat strength and ranking are much higher than mine. Moreover, he is gifted in identifying demonic qi. How about this? I will let my elder brother meet you. My elder brother will know right from wrong. Elder brother? A famous ancient magnate? Xiaohan's heart slightly moved. Who is that? That elder brother of mine used to be unparalleled in the world. Leng Qianqiu laughed proudly. Ranked 23rd on the demon hero ranking, Shengguan Wudi. To be continued. You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.